tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand.
It's Evan Cohen, Unsportsmanlike with Evan, Candy, and Michelle. Now, mornings 6 to 10 a.m. on LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN. KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
And yes, are we ready? Right now on 710, we're taking off with 9 hours of live and local LA Sports Talk.
The home of the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
We call it the LAX, LA Sports Mega Block. Of course, powered every day by LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, where change arrives daily. Let's get to it. Time to get in the air. We're taking off, LA.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Travis and Sliwa has clearance right now.
Yeah, looky here. Look who is in the building. Back from his travels. He is back in the saddle just in time for a big announcement coming up in just a little bit.
I'm just happy to see you because Tuesday was rough without you.
Tuesday, what happened?
Tuesday was good.
Man.
I might be the president of the Alan Sliwa fan club.
You might be.
But
What happened on
show ain't
Tuesday?
the same without
What
Slee.
the hell happened
That's
on
why
Tuesday?
he won Host of the Year last year at the Mandy's. We'll find out if you win again on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'll be ready to go. Good to be here. I got some food stories for you that I'll tell a little bit later because I don't know.
From which part of your travel?
Puerto Rico and Philly.
Did you get a cheesesteak?
Of course, I got a cheesesteak.
Oh, Geno's or Pat's?
Neither.
Whiz or no whiz?
No whiz.
Onions?
Provolone? No, I'm waiting because this is what you do.
We got steak sandwiches.
But now I want a cheesesteak, man.
This is what you do. By the way, there's nothing like just having a full cheesesteak and then just getting right back out there in 100-degree humid weather and just
have
go
a big
walk around.
cheesesteak and then go to bed.
Yeah.
Like just knock one of those out and slide in between the sheets. It's good to have you back.
Good to be back.
It is major announcement week here at 710.
Yes.
And Chris, I believe that's where you come in.
It was a nice throw this time.
That was good.
That
was good.
Not like Monday, where you got a little.
Nice to see you, Chris. Always good to have you in.
Let's clear the deck because at 10:02 a.m.
Always good.
on Thursday. Well, now I got to start over again for the tape. At 10:02 a.m. on Thursday, June 20th, let's hit the timpani roll. Major announcement number 3. As you can see by my hat, the LA Kings this morning debuted a new logo. Let's hit the music. They also have debuted a new broadcast partner. It is my honor and privilege to announce that 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app is your new home for Los Angeles Kings hockey. All the action, all the games, all the pageantry, all the legacy of Kings hockey now lives here, sucker. Welcome home to the Los Angeles Kings. And yes, we can say welcome home because the roots of this radio station when it first started,
That's true.
the LA Kings were here and they're back. Back and better than ever. Bam! How about that?
We got out of the way.
That's
for that
fantastic.
one.
This
We got out of the way for
hat's
that one.
fresh out of the box, by the way.
It looks it.
And I'll
It's
tell you
crispy.
I'll tell you a little bit later on how you can get your new hat.
There you go.
But we want to say special thanks to Kelly Cheeseman, the Chief Operating Officer of AEG Sports, Mike Altieri, the great Mike Altieri, the Senior VP of the LA Kings, for helping make this possible. Of course, on our team, the great Sam Pines, our market manager, part owner, Craig Karmazin, the founder, and of course, Deshae Reynolds, our play-by-play sales manager. All of those guys
It's awesome.
helped make this cut to the finish line and bring the LA Kings to ESPN Los Angeles.
How about this list of play-by-play on just one station? How about this list? Every sport covered. The latest one, of course, the LA Kings. That's awesome. That's great news. Great news for LA.
Did you wear, and I don't know if you can see it on YouTube, but that is a very Daryl Evans adjacent jacket. The great Kings player and turned broadcaster. That is something that I think Daryl would like to have in his closet.
Daryl Evans will hopefully stop by in studio tomorrow. Today at 1:30 p.m., don't miss Luke Robitaille, Kings legend, and, of course, the president of the Los Angeles Kings on with Mason and Ireland. We've got some other guests throughout the day. Special thanks to Jeff Mueller over there, the VP of Communications of the Los Angeles Kings, helping make this all possible and helping make today a very special day and tomorrow as well here on 710 ESPN. We got one more major announcement, and that'll happen tomorrow. So don't miss it. It'll happen all day long. So just keep listening. But USC Trojans are here. LA Kings are here.
Wow.
The all-new ESPN LA app is also going to be your content hub for Los Angeles Kings content, their podcast, All the Kings Men, the Rain Check LA Kings Insider. It's all going to be right there.
Awesome.
I guess you could call the all-new ESPN LA app this fall the destination for LA sports.
Jim Fox coming on with us today.
11:30?
11:30.
Yeah.
So we got a little Kings talk. The Stanley Cup final is bananas. We were talking about it with AK a little bit yesterday. I've got a lot of questions for Foxy coming up at
Foxy.
11:30.
Foxy,
yeah. That's what they call him.
The amount of
That's what
ways
they call
we're
us.
going to use the word puck this season on the radio station, by the way.
Yeah.
Like Sliwa. Go puck yourself. LA Kings hockey is here.
Hey, puck you.
Puck you.
Big puckheads.
Exactly. We are big puckheads, Em.
Mother.
Roars.
Roars.
How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm feeling great. Yeah.
You texted me this morning that your voice was a little on the brink. You sound good.
Why? It
Okay,
sounds good.
I was like, I thought this was going to be between me and you. No, my voice is, I'm through osmosis understanding what happens to you every, fall, winter.
Oh, yeah.
It's usually shortly after Thanksgiving.
I feel it coming on. I don't think it's totally gone yet, but I
You sound
feel
good.
it coming.
Just
I have
power through.
I have two
Got
Vicks
the halls
Vapo
going, Vicks.
things
okay.
in my mouth.
Okay, the industrial strength.
Did you get the Vapo rub? The Vaporub?
I do not have
Oh, you need the Vaporub ones.
Vaporub right now.
Just get sick, but after Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go all the way through to Saturday, then after that.
Well, she hasn't mentioned this, and I got to get back to the office. But I'll just say this: Em has already gotten approval for 3 minutes on stage at the Mandy's to roast and tear apart Travis, which may be the highlight of Mandy's 3 on Saturday night.
Could be.
Travis is so old.
You're getting
How
3
old
minutes
am
of
I?
that?
Here's what I'm gonna do.
Play
ask of
30
you.
minutes of the last 6 months where she just goes at your age discrimination.
She hates the elderly.
Here's what I ask of you who are attending the Manny's, and again, we are gonna give away tickets, right?
All day
today?
long, your chance
All day.
to win, to get your way in.
So if you're planning to come to the Manny's, and I hope you are, I ask of you this: be ready for my call and response when I do it, because I'm gonna go. That's basically the set. It's gonna be Travis is so old.
How old am I?
Exactly. I need people to do it loud and excitedly, not just 3 people. I will have my plants in the audience, but I need everybody to do it.
I'm hoping that Bailey, the King's mascot,
Yeah.
is going to make an appearance at Mandy's 3, and him and I are going to dance. We might do the pony.
Genuine?
See, here's
Yeah.
the thing.
Oh.
My
GKB
pony.
now has restrictions on my pony dance.
Oh?
Contract negotiations. You got to have something up at the table.
Yep.
The pony was on the table.
It was. Sam Pine's not as big of a fan of the pony as you would think.
I wish I walked in to just be a part of that discussion.
But if you remember Mandy's last year, the pony finally came out because Keyshawn called for it. And then Keyshawn fell over me. He was a little inebriated. But
He had a good time.
Yeah, Keyshawn gave you a really, really good dance. Yep.
Should I do it?
Yeah, of course
Yeah,
you should.
there it is.
The
course you
Kings
do.
are watching. I can't do it. We just started a partnership there.
Not
This
right
guy
now.
that was in all the meetings
Wait
is now
till
dancing on the
Saturday.
table. But if somebody else does it, then I can do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if
Bailey does it.
if Bailey starts grinding on a chair to the pony,
Yep.
then I can join in. That's my logic in this whole thing.
So you can't start it.
In
but you
your
can't
mind,
follow it.
that's how
Start
it
it.
works.
Now, if Bailey doesn't get to it, our backup plan is Slia.
Yeah.
Like, before the last award is given, you're going to
Okay.
have to bring up a chair.
Okay.
And we'll just do it together.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Because remember, Mandy's won, you brought up the chair.
Yeah, you called for it, and I just quickly threw up my chair, and then I sat on the table.
Well, you need to get out of the way. Is basically what it is. You don't want to get caught in the crossfire. That's you don't want to be anywhere
When
near
I do
that.
the pony dance, it's got its own orbit.
You know what you
Gravitational pull.
Exactly.
You know what you should do for Saturday, since Emily's going to have her session to talk about your age?
Uh-huh.
You should shave your beard. You should
Dye my hair.
dye your hair. You
Only
should
gonna make
just
it worse.
wear like something a 25-year-old would wear. Just be as
What's up,
young
my
as you
fellow
could possibly
kids?
think about.
Yeah, like Creed in the Office.
Or like Steve Buscemi, I want to say, and
30 Rock.
it was 30 Rock.
Yeah.
It's like, what's up, my fellow kids? And he had a skateboard. You should skateboard in.
The hat
Come to
backwards.
Commerce.
Yeah.
Yeah, park at Commerce, and then in the trunk, grab a skateboard and just go all the way in there. You'd be great.
I've heard far worse ideas.
Have some skippity toilet ribs.
I'm leaning into it. I may show up with a cane and limp around and be ready to go.
Be like Willy Wonka, who has the cane, and then you
And do a
flip.
forward roll. Yeah, can you imagine how badly I would just destroy myself if I attempted a forward roll?
I can't imagine.
That would not go well for me. Did you inform your friend Chandler of what she's in store for on Saturday night?
I've given her some lowdown on the different hosts, the different listeners that are I did not tell her about pony.
She want to dance the pony? She want to dance the pony?
She does not. She does not.
How do you know?
wanna
Have
dance
you
the pony.
asked her?
I can assume her answer. She is a horse girl, though, so who knows?
Well, now everything's
Who
on the
knows
table
now?
now.
Yeah.
Maybe now that's her favorite song. Like maybe
Exactly.
growing up,
She
that's
just
all she
loves
listens
ponies.
to.
How many times can I shout out Chandler from the stage? Chandler, she's a horse girl by everybody.
Yep.
Maybe Jorge, that's just had the pony standing by. By the way, real quick, you see this new beautiful LA Kings hat. If you go to LA Kings on the socials, you'll see the new logo, the legacy of it all. You can buy this stuff for the first time tomorrow in person at the Team LA store right across the street at Crypto.com Arena. It's going to be open this weekend to exclusively sell new Kings merchandise. Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Members of the King alumni and broadcast team will be at a special celebratory event, as will Bailey, the DJ, and in-arena host and LA Kings Ice Crew members. Team LA store hours will be Friday 11 to 5, Saturday 10 to 6, and Sunday 10 to 6. So do it now. Before you go to the Mandy's on Saturday, stop by the Team LA store. Pick up some Kings merch.
Get a sweater.
Exactly. And come on over to Commerce and say, hey, sucker, look at my new Kings merchandise.
I like that you went sweater. That's the proper terminology.
Exactly.
Well done.
Those
well
who
done.
unaware,
that look?
it's not a jersey,
Right.
it's a sweater.
You wear a hockey sweater.
And by the way, Saturday night, if you're in attendance, you can win opening night. Now I can say it all. We will have opening night. That's why I was being so cryptic. We will have opening night tickets to Crypto.com Arena for Lakers, for Kings. We'll have opening day tickets for the Trojans at the Coliseum, and opening day tickets for SoFi Stadium to see the Rams. We're giving all those away out Saturday night at the Mandy's. If you do not have Mandy's 3 tickets, you can't buy them anymore, but you can win them all day today right here on 710 ESPN.
So, Slee, the
guy's a man
entire
of
time,
giving.
we're giving away a lot of stuff.
Jeez.
We're giving away a lot of stuff.
He's a giver.
There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of events that you can attend. There's a lot of events that you can listen to on the 710 app. There's pretty much something going to be on every single night. You didn't miss anything really while you were gone as far as the Lakers go. They didn't hire a coach.
Yeah.
Here we are. How long have the finals been over? 4 days? 3 days? 4.
Would have finished
4.
on
Sunday, right?
No, it finished
Monday?
on Monday.
Okay, Monday.
night.
So 4 days.
Yeah.
We're 4 days past it. They still don't have a coach. Another coach has gotten fired. A guy that the Lakers previously tried to hire.
Can we have that job?
It's the dream. It's the dream.
that is the dream.
Here's $65 million to go away. Yeah, that is the dream. I think for
On top
for
of
everybody.
also being paid out from the Sun still, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure he still has some
By
left.
the way, he's been in the league as a coach for a while. He
Yeah.
played in the league, so Monty has a very full bank account.
He reset the bar for all the coaches. And everybody's like, Pistons, you just literally screwed up the entire coaching market because you gave him $80 million or whatever they gave him, and then he's gone in 1 year.
So what are we waiting for exactly? That's coming up next. It's Travis Slee. Good to have you back, Al. Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
710 ESPN.
So you didn't really think that we're going to get like past this segment without me insisting to get the follow up on the cheesesteak
1000%.
activity in
No, I
Philly,
did not think
right?
that at
Like
all.
I understand that we had
whiz.
the big announcement of the Kings joining us, becoming new partners here on 710 ESPN. So you know I'm a hockey guy. You know that I love to talk about hockey. You know that I love to go to games. So this is very exciting. This is going to be a regular part of what it is that we get to do. Jim Fox, who is a former Kings player and a longtime member of their broadcast team, he's going to join us at 11:30. So make sure that you're listening for that. That's incredibly exciting, but I'm not going to pretend that I wasn't at least 1% preoccupied by your cheesesteak adventure in the home of the cheesesteak, Philadelphia, PA.
Okay, so there was a couple things going on. Number one, I was like, okay, if I bring this up too early, then Trav
You're
is,
right.
he might, we're threatening now part of our big announcements that we have today. So I had to be very strategic when to bring it up. But immediately, once you got a little bit of a taste, you went into a different world. All of a sudden, it was like, tell me more.
Well, yeah.
Does it have onions? What kind of cheese is used? All this. I completely understood that. But I just wanted to kind of tease it for a second. There's certain things I can't tease.
No,
you're
you're right. So let's,
Talk to
okay.
me. Yep. What do you want?
You said no whiz.
No whiz.
Provolone.
American.
American. Okay. That was going to be my next guess.
Okay, so basically what I told him, there's
Onions?
a place, yes.
Peppers?
Grilled onions, they put no peppers in there.
Okay, so-
Here's, can I just give you
Sure.
Basically, it's like, you tell me what I'm supposed to have. This is the most, at least traditional, this place didn't have whiz, but I guess the whiz, I don't want to call it gimmicky, but there's some places that use whiz, other places
Bit
that
touristy, yeah.
do not use gimmicky. And what are the first two places that you mentioned?
Geno's and Pat's.
The reason why I didn't go there,
You asked Twitter for suggestions.
I asked Twitter. I ended up in Pasadena. Lucky boy.
Philly's best.
Yeah. Not bad, by the way.
By the way, there are places like that. How funny is that? There's certain spots where it's like, we do tacos, burritos, falafel sandwiches, Philly cheesesteaks, and
Linguine.
Yeah, like what the hell is this? I don't
called
need
a diner.
I don't need all these places there. So I didn't go to those two places only because those are literally the two most tourist places.
Yeah.
There's a list of, obviously a ton
But
of
you're
them.
a tourist.
I'm a tourist, but I want give me a place where maybe more locals are going to go. That's what I was looking for, a little bit more authentic. So, place I went to, you asked, so your question was, they basically said American cheese. Yes, 1,000% grilled onions are going in there.
Yep.
They're known for, so it's not, I didn't realize this, the Philly cheesesteak. There's basically three signature sandwiches in Philly. It's the Philly's roast pork and Philly's roast beef, and then it's the cheesesteak. So over a course of 2 days, I did all those.
Did you have pretzels too? Soft pretzels? That's also what Philly's known
I know.
for.
I did not have the soft pretzel, partially because I had already put in about, I think,
a lot of carbs.
probably like 36,000 calories of just getting these cheesesteaks.
Sure.
The cheesesteak, I will say, phenomenal, delicious, humongous, and probably not something you want to have 4 times a week.
No.
Probably
no.
don't want to get that in
4 times
a
a
week.
year is probably twice too many.
Here's part of the best part of the sandwich, the Italian bread that they use.
Oh, who are you talking to?
That's why I'm explaining to you. The sesame on the bread, a little bit, like the bread is toasted, so there's a little bit of kind of like a burnt to all the sesames. I don't want to overstate that, but, bro, that bread just, like, everything just submerges into one.
Yep.
Because of that bread.
The bread makes every sandwich that's ever been made. If the bread is bad, you're dead meat before it even starts. You could have everything that's inside of that sandwich that you have. That, from what I can tell, it sounds like you really liked it.
Yeah.
That if you put that on a bad roll, the sandwich sucks.
Yeah.
The bread has to be on point, otherwise nothing else matters. Those real authentic Philly cheesesteaks place.
Yep.
They never miss on the roll. Never. Like the roll is all. When you go to a place that does a cheesesteak that sucks, it's almost always because the roll sucks.
Super hole in the wall spot. It's been there since 1930. You grab, you order, you wait, you sit down, you're outside. It's 114 degrees with no wind.
Well, so refreshing is what you're saying.
The humidity, and then at the same time, you're just eating a cheesesteak. It was a perfect combination for all
Did you have
that.
a cup of coffee with it?
I had
Hot
soup.
coffee.
I had soup.
Beer, cheese, soup.
One other place. So kind of their version of a Grand Central Market. They have the Reading Terminal Market. That's what it's called. My God, how do you choose food in any of these places? How do you choose everything?
Isn't it Reading Terminal
It is.
Market? Yeah, Reading Terminal Market.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's good that I don't know how to read. That it's reading.
Well,
and it's
okay.
one of those words. Is that a homonym? Is that what that's called?
It's one of those things that when you correct me on the freeway
it's
or whatever,
Reading.
I
I'd rather know it's Reading.
Yeah, it's
If
Reading.
I'm saying reading,
the
and it's
only
not
reason I
reading.
know it's Reading is because the Phillies have a minor league team there, and it's the Reading Phillies, not the Reading Phillies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They got a cool. Philadelphia's got a cool setup too with their stadiums. Everything, all three
Downtown, right across the street
everything
from
is
each
downtown.
other. Yeah.
Literally, all these are just like a triangle. It's the Sixers, the Phillies, and the Eagles.
Don't forget the Flyers. We're a hockey station, Slee.
And the
How
Flyers.
dare you-
Flyers,
how
Wells
do you not
Fargo.
get that?
Got the
How do you
link.
not get that?
Yeah,
Right.
Phillies.
Right.
So I have many follow-ups. I lived there for 6 months, and 6 formative months. I absolutely loved the city of Philadelphia. So I have 2 important places that I don't think you hit, but I think that if you ever go back again, you should hit.
Yeah.
Chickies and Pete's. Did you go to Chickies and Pete's?
No.
Did you get
What's the
Chickies-
first? What in Pete's?
Chickies?
Chickies,
and
like Chick
Pete's.
Hearn, Chickie?
Yes.
Okay.
Chickies and Pete's,
Okay.
and they also have them in all the stadiums. So anywhere you go,
What do they serve?
they're known for their crab fries.
Okay.
So the crab fries don't have crab in it, but it's a crab seasoning. It's got Old Bay seasoning on these fries, crinkle cut fries.
Are you familiar with Old Bay, Slee? Because you could put it on a boot, and that boot would be
And
delicious.
it's always served with
Everything's
cheese.
battered, right?
No, this is a seasoning. It has not the
Yes.
batter. It
You
is
can
a-
buy the seasoning at
you
like
can buy it at
any-
the grocery
yeah.
store, and here's
It's
a
in a
little
yellow
secret.
container.
I like you could put it on a boot and
In
it
a
will taste
Bloody
good.
Mary, a little Old Bay
Mm-hmm.
and the Bloody Mary are on the rim of the glass. Let's go.
So I used to always go to their Xfinity Live, which is in that sport complex, because I couldn't always afford a ticket, so I'd go to Xfinity Live and watch games. Especially I'd watch a lot of Eagles games there. So Chickies and Pete's, yep. Chickies and Pete's, fantastic. Did you go to Wawa?
No.
It's Hoagie Fest. You didn't go to Wawa?
During Hoagie Fest, was that? Well, when were you there? A couple of days ago?
I was there. So I got there on Monday afternoon. I left Tuesday afternoon.
Okay.
So you
So
went for
basically
you were
20
you only there-
24 hours.
Okay, you
and
have enough time to
caught
go
a
to Wawa
Padres
4
Phillies
times.
game.
I'm telling you. So you went to the authentic Philly cheesesteak, but Anthony Bourdain will take you to. But what really is Philadelphia?
Was that
and
shade at Tony Bourdain?
No, it's not shade. It's probably the best place to go.
Okay.
What's it called? Say it again.
Wawa.
Wawa.
Okay.
It's easy to get. So it's just WAWA. But if you want to live, or not want to live, but like the actual experience of people living in Philadelphia, South and Central Jersey is Wawa. Wawa, hoagies, sandwiches. It's like a high-end gas station. I know it sounds
I was going to
silly
say,
for me
no,
to
I know what
say.
you're talking about. A lot of these markets do, a lot of these like small little liquor store, grocery stores, they do hoagies there too, right?
Yes, but
that
this
kind
is
of a
not just
similar?
like a normal hoagie place. This is Wawa. Like, I can't explain to you enough how
Why the
important
hell didn't you
Wawa
tell me earlier?
I did tell you. I have told you. I told you before when you said you're going to Philadelphia, you need to go to Wawa.
Jesus Lord.
Is this more regional dialect, or is there a specific thing that makes one separate from another? A hoagie versus a grinder versus a sub, or is it just different words for the same thing?
Construction's slightly different, but it is more of the term for what it is. So, hoagie, and you got hoagie.
Hoagie.
Some water ice, and the hoagie is great for when you go to Philadelphia. It's just a longer sandwich, but a grinder is a different construct of the sandwich. The sandwich is bigger, tends to be big.
That's
cut
exactly
it up,
what I needed.
and you,
I needed
More.
another one.
You needed more.
Three wasn't enough in my 24
and you
hours.
tend to take the bread out to add more. It's almost like a scooped sandwich.
Uh-oh.
But you take the bread out so that you can layer it in. And then also, did you get any bagels?
Did the at the Reading Terminal Market. Reading. I had to double look here. There's a place that was specific for their bagels. They get their bagels every morning. I don't know where they get them. I think it was Brooklyn. They're getting from whatever it is.
Safeway.
And they're making
the water. It's the water.
They're
Does
making the breakfast sandwiches there. Yeah, I got.
You say "Go Birds" to anybody at any point in time?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I had nothing to.
Yes, it's not you. How was
it's
the
also the
ballpark?
greeting.
You know what's funny? I thought for some reason, and maybe this is, we took the subway to the game.
Okay.
And I thought, I'm there's 97.8%, no, 98.9% Philly fans, of course,
sure,
right?
sure.
And a couple Padre hats kind of sprinkled. No one said anything. Like the entire time, the entire game, nothing. I thought there would be something.
Here's why.
Yeah.
They're very specific. You mentioned one of the reasons why. There are not enough of you guys that they feel like they're threatened in any way.
You're not their biggest enemy.
You're not a historic rival of theirs in any way. And more than anything else, the Phillies are really good, and the Padres aren't.
Very average.
Yeah, so it's just one of these. I don't have the time to kick someone that's... Even Philly fans, well, no, I was about to say it. That would just be wrong. They'll punch down because they are Philly fans, but they'd have to climb down a little bit to punch at the Pods right now.
I was expecting, just because it was Philly, I was like, oh, somebody's going to give me something. Nothing.
Had the Padres won the game and you were going home, then that might be slightly different, but that wasn't an issue.
Another question. You see the Schuylkill? The Schuylkill?
What's the Schuylkill?
No,
it's
what is
the
that?
river. It's the river that goes through Philadelphia, the Schuylkill.
Okay.
That's the name of the river?
Yep. And then, but if you love the opening scene of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or playing this music right now, the Schuylkill row of houses is off of the river as you're going more north through the city, or I guess maybe it was west. I don't know. Okay. Don't ask me direction. But you pass by it, they're along the Schuylkill. It's the Schuylkill like row houses. It's like the rowing crew.
Got
houses.
that.
Sounds like you had a good time.
Had a good time.
I'm sorry. I love Philadelphia.
No,
it's
Philly's
like my
a good
favorite
city.
city.
That's a cool city.
Had you been there
I was only there
before?
No, never been there.
No.
Would you go back?
Literally 24 hours.
Would you go back or not?
Yeah, I'd go back. But I'd want to see a little bit, just seeing downtown Philly, like show me Philadelphia, like other parts of Philadelphia, rather than just all downtowns are pretty similar.
You're there for 24 hours. Yeah. That's hard to get
like
a
in
feel
like Century
for.
City, and then you went to the games.
Say that one. Oh yeah. And that was it. Literally on the outskirt of it, and then back in.
All right, so I have questions about Puerto Rico. We're going to get into that, and I guess at some point we should probably talk about why the Lakers still have not hired a coach. I guess that's something else that we should probably touch on at some point today. Very excited about the announcement earlier today that the Los Angeles Kings are now a partner of ESPN 710. You're going to get to hear the games on the app. You're going to get to hear some games on this air. You're going to get a lot of Kings talk right here on 710, so that's awesome, including Jim Fox joining us about 1 hour from right now. So make sure that you're sticking around for that. But where is the coach and when is he coming? That's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. NextGen, like you mentioned, Slee, it's hot in Philly. It was hot here.
They needed NextGen out there.
They should get a NextGen branch in Philadelphia because it's the summer. You're going to be running that air conditioner a lot. Make sure it's running at its best. And by the way, if it's not and you need to get someone out there to service it, NextGen is a great option there as well because they're on top of it. They're going to get there as quickly as they can. Call somewhere else. You're going to get maybe in the next few days. You call NextGen. They're going to give you a time. They're going to show up on time, and they're going to take care of whatever problem it is that you have. So give them a call, 833-3-NEXTGen, 833-3-NEXGEN. And it's not just air conditioning. It's plumbing as well. I mentioned that my water heater was on the blink a couple of weeks ago. Called NextGen. They were out there within a couple of hours. It was unbelievable how quickly they showed up. So if you have a plumbing issue, like maybe you got a slow drain, how about this? $88 for a drain cleaning, and they're going to throw in a free plumbing camera inspection as well. 833-3-NEXTGen, 833-3-NEXGEN, or nextgenairandplumbing.com to schedule online.
Hear the excitement of Kings hockey this season.
This fall, 710 ESPN.
Did you get a lot of this when you were in your travels?
In Puerto Rico? Yeah. Bro, they play their music, too. These I'm not kidding. Literally, you go to, like, a restaurant. There's some parking lots. They'd bring out 2 huge speakers set up to their car, and they were playing as if you were in a Vegas nightclub. I'm like, I was just going to grab a couple of plantains and keep it moving. Oh, no, that music is a big part of their culture.
I understand that I am who I am.
And if you walked by that car, you'd probably stay for a couple hours and just danced.
There's nothing that gets me out of a place quicker than, Emily, add it to your set for Saturday night, than if it's too loud. I'm like, bye. I'm out.
I'm gonna admit this. So, by the way, like this is my maybe boomer or whatever. Maybe I'm just getting old as well. I bought earplugs for my concert tonight.
Oh no!
But these are like, okay.
Wow.
My friend influenced me because I saw her have them at another concert you went to, and they look like earrings. They look like fashionable, but they're earplugs. And I know from all you hosts that work at this station, y'all's hearings are going away.
What?
Yeah.
That I want to protect my ears. And so I bought earplugs, and I used them last night at trivia, and I'm going to use them tonight at the concert.
She also has like hot green tea that she's drinking during the concert.
I'm wearing sensible shoes.
Sensible
I'm wearing my Hokas instead of nice shoes.
That's a very woman thing, by the way, this sensible shoe thing. Like, Susan, when we go and do something, she will bring the shoes that she wants to wear because they look nice relative to the ones that she wants to wear so she can, walk.
There's also like standing and sitting pants. There's all that stuff.
So
I feel incredibly old. I have my glasses on. I'm gonna have my earplugs in, but I'm gonna enjoy myself and not lose my hearing.
Mandy's 3, it is basically here. It's this Saturday night at the Commerce Casino. Doors opening out at 4. Meet and greet and entertainment at 5. We start giving out champagne and nuts trophies at 8. And it is the biggest 710 party of the year. You know that, as we're celebrating everything that is 710 ESPN. Tickets are sold out, but if you keep listening all day long, you have a chance to win your way into Mandy's 3.
There you go.
A special thanks to Tequila Mandala for presenting the Best Segment Award again this year. Tequila Mandala, demand the extraordinary.
I got a feeling there'll be a little bit of Tequila Mandala taken down on Saturday.
Yeah, what's your strategy going in? Slow build, slow night, fast out of the gate, and then taper as you get deeper into the night. Do you have a game plan?
It's like I'm a starting pitcher on Saturday, and I have not gave it thought yet.
Oh, you haven't scouted? You're just
haven't done anything.
That could go badly.
Well, here's the thing: is they just called me up. I had no idea that I was getting called up.
Okay, that's
I was on
different.
vacation for a couple of days. I came back, and you said, "What's your strategy?" I'm like, "I haven't even thought about it."
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You could just kind of, it's an audible. You get to the line of scrimmage, and you're just going to call the play depending on what the defense puts at you.
Yeah, probably.
You know who's might get called up from the minor leagues before too long?
Who's that?
Walker Buehler. Because he's going to have to go reconfigure, reset, rework, retool, something, whatever it is that he was doing. They put him on the IL. He got hit by a line drive in the hip. He had a little hip thing prior to that. Sure, he did get hit by a line drive. We saw that. He did have the hip thing. That's true.
That almost just a blessing in disguise to have that kind of an excuse.
They're not even pretending that it's hey, we're worried about his hip. We're worried about him missing bats. Yeah, he just can't seem to miss a bat. Are you surprised that you took a week off and that you came back and the Lakers still don't have a coach?
Yeah, I think if the excuse was NBA Finals were going to end, and then once the finals end, then JJ Redick is not saying that he was going to get hired right away, but you would feel like, okay, the momentum is there. Guys, this is all but going to happen. We're a week away from the draft. And I know some people
literally a week from today, right?
I think, one week away. And I know people say that it's, do you have to have a head coach, this and that? I think there's only 3 teams that do not have a head coach right now. It's the Lakers, the Pistons, and the Cavs.
Okay.
Unless the Cavs got a coach when I was gone, but I
don't believe they did.
Okay. So there's 3 available spots.
And one of them didn't come open until yesterday.
It was such a hot topic from that Thursday to the Monday about Dan Hurley. I just assumed if that didn't happen, it's like, let's go directly to plan B and let's kind of keep this thing moving. Okay, that didn't happen. So to answer your question, I am surprised that they didn't have a head coach yet.
It seemed like Redick was the choice from really the moment that Darvin Ham was dismissed and J.J. Redick's name was floated out there as a potential.
They uploaded the podcast.
Kinda.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, Redick's the guy. Maybe you got to wait. And then all of a sudden, Dan Hurley pops up. And it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. They pursued Dan Hurley unsuccessfully. Didn't happen. Okay, fine. Sometimes you don't get what you want. And it's immediately back to Redick. And yet here we are, and Redick's not the coach. And he might be. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but have they learned a lot more over the last 2 or 3 weeks? Have they found out more about J.J. Redick that they like, that they don't like? Vice versa. Has J.J. Redick looked at the Lakers and said, oh my gosh, I'm in love with this? Or, the more I think about it, maybe he's starting to get a little cold feet. I don't know where the breakdown is, or even if there is one, but this isn't like his candidacy came out of nowhere in the last month or so. He's been at the top of the list, and the finals, I get that they didn't end a month ago, but they did end 3 or 4 days ago. And if he was the guy that they've targeted, and he's interested and they're interested, what's the holdup? Is he not the guy? I know that odds on, the gambling, the odds say he's the favorite. I think he is the favorite. Is it a negotiation? Can they not come to terms? But it's very odd to me that it's not done.
I'm going to play something out because I don't know how much of an effect that it had. Let's say J.J. Redick the plan was J.J. Redick's potentially going to be the guy. They get wind that Dan Hurley actually does have interest in the Lakers, whether Dan Hurley was just using the Lakers or not. He's going to eventually decline the deal with the Lakers, and he's going to go back to UConn. But there were numbers that came out of that conversation. It was 6 years, $70 million.
Mm-hmm.
If I just go by what the Lakers have done over the last couple of years, I know that they're certainly not overpaying for coaches. They're paying below what the average is. I know that they're not throwing out 5-year deals out there like a lot of other teams are. They're throwing 3-year deals out there or 4-year deals out there in Darvin Ham. I remember you saying this, that once those numbers got out, 6 years, $70 million, I wonder how much that changed the narrative for J.J. Redick and his camp.
Would have changed it for me if I were Redick.
So, and I'm this is just a theory of mine. I don't know if those were the numbers you were throwing at him, and nobody's saying he's got to get 6 years. And I actually don't think that if I'm the Los Angeles Lakers, I'm not giving J.J. Redick a 5-year, $60 million deal or something like that. You haven't been a coach yet in the NBA. But maybe J.J. Redick is sitting back and saying, I want certain terms. I want a guarantee of years that I know that I'm going to be the Lakers head coach for
that's
a long
why
time.
I think they can't run it back. Maybe they could dial it back from 6 to 5, but the 6 wasn't just that that Dan Hurley had won 2 national championships and that Dan Hurley is widely considered a
great mind in the game.
Yeah, he's a good coach. Whether it works in the NBA, who knows until you go. But there's that. It wasn't just that. The 6 years was also hey, we're in this with you for a while. We believe in the future the present and the future. If you all of a sudden are rolling it back to Darvin Ham-like terms, you're basically telling this guy you are connected to this for a very short period of time. And that is not necessarily appealing. Especially when you were willing to do it with him, why are you not willing to do it with me? Maybe the argument is, well, you've never done it. Okay, but then I'm set up to fail before I even start. I need the assurances that I'm going to get a chance, A, to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
I've never done it. B, learn how to do this beyond the LeBron James's time in L.A. And B, to do this with a team that is going to be in transition from the time that whenever LeBron is done to whatever's coming next. Otherwise, I'm going to wait and find something else. It had Hurley been offered Darvin Ham-like terms with just big dough, okay, fine. Then we're still operating in a shorter scale. But the second they kicked it open to 6, they kicked it open to the idea of, guys, we understand we need to build this beyond just LeBron being here. And now all of a sudden we're rolling it back. If I'm Redick, I don't love that.
Here's, I think, the problem. The problem is you are associated to LeBron James. Part of the reason why you feel like J.J. Redick gets the job is because he does a podcast with LeBron James.
Why not give him a 1-year deal?
It does feel like
just do it like that.
It does feel like they are tied together. That if J.J. Redick, if LeBron wasn't on this team, maybe they're still hiring J.J. Redick. But that connection does feel like it's there. And I'm just going to throw a number out there. If it was similar to what Darvin Ham got, which was 4 years. You're still getting probably 2 years with LeBron James, and then 2 years after LeBron James. But it's not just that, Al.
What you're doing is the thing, you're buying their patience. they're not going to sack you with 4 years left on the deal. They might sack you with 2. You know what I mean? Like what the Pistons did, it's not just that they did it, it's that they're eating 5 years of the deal. It's crazy that I'm not buying 4. If I give you 4, I'm basically giving you 2.
Yeah.
But if I give you 5 or 6, then I'm giving you 3, if not that 4th year, because I don't want to eat 4 years of contract. I might eat 1 or 2, but you're not just buying the time that's actually there. It's how much of this you're willing to eat and what's left over.
Yeah, I think it's the conversation. The reason why we're having it is because we're sitting here on June 20th and still nothing's happened, right? That it kind of tells me, we go back to, remember when the Phoenix Suns fired Frank Vogel, Mike Budenholzer was the next coach within a couple of days. And the thought process was, okay, whether this is complete disarray, he had a 5-year deal, they left 4 years on the table. All right, at least they said, we don't want this guy, but we've already identified who the next guy is. Just take the Lakers offseason so far. That's the guy. That's the target. Big offer to UConn's Dan Hurley. No, maybe it is still going to be J.J. Redick. Maybe it's now that Monty Williams got fired. Well, we're still sitting here. Look how separated we are from when the season ended. 1 week away from the draft, and nothing's there.
Hey, Foo, did you see? Coming up next, it's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
Travis and Sliwa, and it's time for the segment we do around this time, 10:40 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Hey, did you see that sky today?
Did you guys see that?
Did you see what I see?
Basically, the days we don't do Ask Slee, we do this thing. It's called Hey, Did You See?
Did you see that? I saw it. I did it.
Did you see the memo about this?
I mean, I'm excited. You can tell by my read. Hey, did you see?
Did you happen to see?
It's time for Hey, Did You See?
Hey, man, did you touch my drum set?
Have you read this? Right now on Travis and Sliwa.
Hey, did you see that the Mandys are coming this Saturday night? Mandy's 3 at the Commerce Casino. We get the doors open at 4 o'clock. Meet and greet. Entertainment starts at 5. Slee gets there at 3:30, and we start giving out champagne and nuts tropies at 8 o'clock. It is the biggest 710 party of the year as we're celebrating everything that is 710 ESPN. Tickets are sold out, but you can keep listening all day long for your chance to win your way into Mandy's 3. And a special thanks to Children's Dental Fun Zone for presenting the Best Smile Award this year. Children's Dental Fun Zone, we treat your kids as our own. I don't know if you saw the fine print on the Host of the Year award, but if you win, you need to show up before everyone else
at 9
the following year.
I'm having breakfast at Commerce.
Yeah, you're hosting a breakfast.
By the way, I want to say congrats to Arthur Deshawn and Isaro, who just won tickets to the Manny's on Saturday.
There you go.
Stay tuned all day for more chances to win at the Manny's on all the shows. Make sure you get in.
Good job, Artie. We'll see you on Saturday. What's up, Foo?
Simon, what's up, Foos? Okay, so let me start off real quick here with Airbnb is introducing Icons, a new category of extraordinary experiences hosted by the greatest names in music, film, television, arts, and sports. So basically, they have their new lineup for 2024, and you can stay in a house such as like the Up House from Pixar. You can stay in the new house like Inside Out 2.
Okay.
They have the themed out. And if you like music, you can stay in the Prince house.
Oh.
So if you were to pick a theme for your next vacation, what would it be so Airbnb can make it happen? If you guys remember last year, they had the Barbie house in Malibu. Like they made this.
That's right. That's right.
You can stay there.
Honestly, and what would be really awesome
Baseball
is like a Fernando/Dodger themed house. Like to have something where there is. I went to the Rams house, the draft house that they put together down in Hermosa Beach, and every room had kind of a different theme, a different era of Rams football, and all of the different things. And to get a chance to do that, maybe there are movies, maybe there are books or whatever it is, or just cool artwork or things that are playing. I think to kind of immerse yourself in a Dodger world like that would be really, really cool. And maybe you set it up next to Fernando's and you can have a backyard one of the night barbecue and get to know each other a little bit.
I'll go music theme. So I'll take like a Jamaican type of theme. So the music is all obviously Jamaican. You can imagine what else happens in this house because it's going to be very chill.
A lot of air filtration.
A lot of air filtration going on. Sometimes you have the windows open. Sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you don't want
get
them
some
open.
of that. Get some of that Jamaican food in there as well. I'll go Jamaican theme on that.
Maybe I'm going to cheat with this one, and I just want to be in this place, but some sort of like Mamma Mia themed, but like I want it to be in Greece. I want to be in Greece, but like make a Mamma Mia redo, maybe have people come sing out of closets or something at some point in time, but Greece would be
Have any of us been to Greece, Al?
No.
Have you been to Greece?
I went to Greece when I was 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it as awesome as it looks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Athens was just, think about the history there. But it was so long ago, to be honest with you, and I was jumping around from country to country. But the islands, it was in Mykonos.
Yeah.
Those islands, I'm like, what is this? Is this real? Like, how is this? How are people living like this? Whatever it is. But yeah, I have been.
That's on the list.
One of my best friends, her husband is Greek, and so they got married in Kalamata last year. And just like hearing them talk about it, it's most beautiful.
I've never heard anybody that has gone and come back and go, yes, all right. Like everybody's like, no,
food is amazing. The buildings are amazing.
All of it.
Water is amazing.
All of it. That would be an
What
amazing
is?
trip.
Where were you trying to sell Susan on Living?
Clovis?
It was Clovis.
Yeah.
So because you just said that's on the list as well.
Yeah, Clovis is too.
So right now the list so far for Trav is Greece and Clovis. Those are the two that are on the list right now.
And Barcelona. I want to go to Barcelona too.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
You guys know why they speak with a lisp, right?
It was the king had a lisp,
king
right?
Used to have a lisp, so everybody, so they don't
Yeah.
Make him feel bad that he talked funny. Everybody started talking like this.
Yep.
The king has no clothes, but the king has a lisp. Therefore, everyone else must pretend.
Bro, how about that power? Yeah, I'm the king. I have a lisp. Why don't we all just
We're gonna
change the way we
words.
talk?
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right, so we're all into,
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. No, it's only with a Z, actually.
Right.
If you guys pay attention, it's only with
Like Jose Maria Olafable. That's his name.
Emilio Sanchez.
Oh, I remember him, the golfer.
The golfer, Jose Maria Olafable. And it's like O-L-A-Z-A. I'm like, how does that make a th sound? It's a Z.
By the way, real quick,
Ibiza.
I thought of you twice.
Ibiza.
I thought of you twice when I was gone. The Philly cheesesteak and the other time. What happened to Rory, bro?
Oh,
My God.
he, what's the word? Choked.
Choked?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
he
would be it.
completely collapsed and
Oh,
cratered and
God.
absolutely vomited down his shirt. That's what happened.
Full swing got me into some of the characters.
I like
here.
it.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, so here's another quick one. There's a 2-year-old who's making paintings, so for $11,000. If I can get my newborn to do some of this, that's
Put a
good
brush in
cash.
Gael's hand.
So yeah, exactly. So this kid is basically just taking paintbrushes and rollers and is just going at a canvas.
And then everyone else is suckers.
And everybody's, not everybody, but a lot of people are buying his stuff for $11,000. You have spent a lot of money on something to decorate your house.
Not
And
really.
what was it? No.
Not really. Like we've spent money on things that you need in a
furniture.
house,
Right,
furniture,
but not art,
electronics, refrigerators, like things like that. But as far as I'm in love with that painting or that tapestry
Yeah.
or that, no.
Here's what
I did.
There are levels of being a baller. And I think if you're out and you're like, let's use the paintings as an example.
Right.
Because there's some people just have these homes and there's paint all over and there's a sculpture there, whatever it is, right? And it's like, yeah, that was, whether they give you the price or not, it's like, yeah, that was $32,000 for that painting. That means money literally doesn't mean anything. But you said you got an example. What'd you spend on?
So it's not like, okay, again, it's pennies in terms of like, there are people that spend multiple thousands of dollars on original paintings. That's not really what I did, but I did spend, maybe I splurged a little bit on a print that I really loved. And it's a print from an artist. His name is Mark Maggiore, but he paints Western vistas. So like cowboys in
like
vistas.
old saloons and things
no,
like that.
it's more of like cowboys in expanses. So it's more about
Okay.
the nature and the smallness of human beings. And so I have a quite large print
Marble
of
Dogs playing poker.
quite large print of like this small cowboy in the vast expanse of the West, and I really love it.
No, I there was a soccer store when I was in college nearby that every time I would go, there was 3 paintings. They're faceless players, right? Faceless players, and one of them resembled Ronaldinho, and the other is just guys, it just in action. I thought it was so cool. The guy was closing the store, and I was, I'm like, hey, how much you want for those? He's like, give me $100 for each. I'm pretty sure that worth that much. But at the time, I'm in college, and I'm broke basically.
Right.
I don't know how I did, but I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get you the $300 for each of and those frames. They're in storage.
I was just going to ask you, where are they right now? They're not hanging in your place?
No, they're just wrapped in plastic.
Are they big?
They're huge.
Yeah.
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 And then Brenda's like, what the hell? Like, just give them away, man. I'm
Just
like, it's.
Screw them into the ceiling. Just hang them from the roof. Like I spent $300 on these. We got to put them somewhere.
You know what people spend? They'll do like John and Steve were talking about this. Those chairs.
Yeah.
Entertainment centers.
Yeah.
The TV. It's like I'm going.
Fancy refrigerator.
Yeah, that's true too.
Those are
Kinda
expensive.
Like, what are those now that you can literally see through? Kids are playing games on the.
They make clear ice now too.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do, and they are expensive.
Yeah, we saw that from Air One.
I know.
You need that. You need an endorsement with them.
You'd
be the best endorser for them.
Somebody sent me. My buddy Brian sent me this. I think I sent it to you, Em. I think it was last week while you were gone, Slee. There is a machine that you can buy now that will make you 6 perfectly clear cubes,
Ice,
not
yeah,
like
yeah.
like the kind you get in a nice fancy bar.
Yeah.
But the machine itself is like $800. I'm like, it makes 6 ice cubes at a time. I'm like, this is insane. I can't, I want it so badly, but
The
I
person who bought the 2-year-old $11,000
got the
paintings
machine.
always has that as well.
I'm hoping it's like HD TV. That in a year from now, it's like
comes down.
$50. Yeah.
I mean, your kid chose Cal Poly Slow. Now you have so much money to play with.
No, he
It's
chose
girl
to
math.
not have hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt after. That's
No,
not
it's girl math.
not
You have all this
figuring
money.
into my ice budget. One of Anthony Davis's former coaches says that he knows how to make him the focal point of the team. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee. Slee's back on 710 ESPN. Did you play Prize Picks when you're on the road,
I
Slia?
did.
Good.
Wherever the hell you go, it's on your app, it's on the phone.
That's it. That's why more than 5 million people play Prize Picks, because it's the #1 DFS site, and it's fun, and it's super simple to play. You just pick more or less at Prize Picks. You pick between 2 and 6 players, and just because basketball's over doesn't mean that you have to stop playing Prize Picks. There's baseball every single night, and it's a great way to do it, but you got to put the app on your phone, and you got to put that code 710 in for a first deposit match of up to $100.
Okay, so NBA is done. We know that. But you don't got to stop there. Trav's been playing MLB games for how long now? Trav, since we started in spring training, he's been playing. So this is what you can do. You can go look right now on Prize Picks. Home runs. Basically, more or less than half a home run for Freddie Freeman, half a home run for Shohei Ohtani, half a home run for Will Smith. I'm taking my chances. I'm going to go less on those. But these are the picks that you have on there. You can play all the different games. WNBA obviously in full swing right now, and all you got to do is download the app today. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code 710 on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
It's Evan Cohen.
Went to Granite with him, went to San Diego State with him.
Go Eagles.
Remember when we had, right in the middle of all the high school games that were going on, and Granite kept doing its thing, and we had Kellen Cobbs on.
Yeah.
So his first cousin, my buddy, Robbie Cobbs. So he lives out in Puerto Rico. Really cool what he's doing. He's been teaching for a while, international teaching, but then started a nonprofit in Puerto Rico, and it's basically just trying to help all these schools out that don't have the funding and the education, any of that stuff. So he's doing his thing out there. So out there for 4 days total. Just him and my buddy, or just me and my buddy. Have you ever, and I think I already know the answer to this, have you ever been out in any of the water that's out in the Atlantic Ocean, any of the islands that are out there? Have you ever been in any of the water
I've never been. I've been in the ocean on the Atlantic side of Florida, like in Miami. Yeah. I've done that, but never anything.
How warm was the water there?
Very.
Okay. It was Bro, it's a freaking jacuzzi.
Yeah, it's very warm. I know the answer as to why, by the way, because I'm basically I know one thing about everything, but I don't know a second thing about anything.
Okay, the water is coming
It's
from...
why it's much colder here than it is there.
It's coming from Alaska.
The water turns clockwise.
Yeah.
In the ocean, so the water on the California coast comes from the north, Alaska, down south, and it's cold, where in that same clockwise it's coming from the Caribbean up to Florida, and it's much warmer.
So all this technology we have, we can't change it a little bit? Maybe
we're
can,
trying.
Like, just try to get it coming this way?
We're trying. Just drive our car 2 blocks. That's our attempt to warm the water in California.
Do you ever have somebody tell you, so at one point you were running, right? Like at one point you were a runner.
I tried again the other day, by the way.
Okay, did you?
I did.
I've not heard the walking to running.
Well, no, not like for good, but I was on a walk that I felt really good.
So
it was
you
a
picked up
beautiful
the pace
day.
a little bit.
I'm like, and I wasn't quite as sweated up as I would like to have been.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to start running, and I ran for 1.5 miles, and that was
not bad. It's pretty good.
My knees were not great the next day. So
run harder,
over with that.
run faster.
Not a chance.
You ever have? So it's a good example. So my buddy's like, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do," and a lot of stuff you can do in Puerto Rico predominantly is going to be outdoor. It's going to be something to do with the beach. It's going to be something to do with the ocean, something along those lines. So he's like, "All right, here's what we're going to do." Got our boy Kirk Morrison in the house here. He's like, "Here's what we're going to do." He's like, "We're going to go paddle boarding, and then we're going to go do some snorkeling, not too far from where he lives." I'm like, "Okay, awesome. I just want you to know, not really an ocean guy. So let's like."
But you're a scuba diver.
I have scuba dived.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I'm a scuba diver. This guy had me. You ever been on a paddleboard before?
I have, yeah.
Okay,
I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, bouncing on a paddleboard is basically like walking a tightrope between 2 buildings 60 stories up.
The paddleboard for me was basically the size of an aircraft carrier because I would sink every other one. Kirk, I have a feeling, I don't mean to put your business on the street, but I have a feeling you'd need the same paddleboard I had.
Yeah.
That there's a certain size of person that needs a very large paddleboard.
But
you just have to put
brothers
two
in the water
paddle
don't
boards.
really work, though. Brothers in the water don't really work like that, too, though.
Yeah, but you're not in the water if you're doing it right. You're standing on top of it.
No, so
but the risk of falling in the water is very high.
The risk
real.
of falling in the water is a big thing.
What is the fear? Animals?
No, it's just you never know. I'm like sharks. People always act like, "Oh no, the sharks aren't around." No,
Yes, they are.
I trust me. I watch all the videos. Shark Week is
That's
one of
not
the,
helping.
Shark Week is on in my house.
Yeah, Kirk, let me tell you something. If you're going to go out to the ocean, don't watch Shark Week on National Geographic before you go out.
I was a big ocean guy. Big ocean, love the ocean, love to be out there. You know, I could swim. I do love jet skis, all of that. I'll say about 7 years ago, I got on a jet ski and I just went, and I realized I probably went for about 4 or 5 miles.
Out? Like away from the beach?
Yes, from the beach.
Straight line out.
Fell off the jet ski.
Big mistake.
I've never panicked, had anxiety. Like, trust me.
Because you were having trouble getting back on?
I'm having trouble getting back on. But to be in choppy waters and have to swim back
to the ski,
get myself back on and realize there's nobody around right now. Like, I could
That's terrifying.
When you're that far where you can't even see the shore, that to me was like, okay, what am I doing? And I haven't been on a jet ski since.
That is creating anxiety for me just hearing the story. But here's my question: what the hell were you doing just going straight out like that?
Like
That's insane.
Well, it was like one of those islands, and you know how you
were you in Hawaii?
No, I was in. Where were we at? Oh, we were in Colombia.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had one of those little private islands, and so we're just having a great time. And I don't know. I think I was like caught up in the. So I know people have done the jet ski from. Is it Long Beach to Catalina?
Sure.
Yep.
But I feel like you can still see Catalina always in the distance.
No
matter what. So I was like, I can see that island.
It's like 26 miles away.
I know.
Yeah.
But I saw this little island, and I was like, I want to go see it. I want to go see what's over there. So I made it there, and it was like cool. But then you realize by the time when you get there, how far you're away. And when I realized how far I was away, I'm like, wow. And it really started. I started to panic.
Okay. Did you really think this is how it ends for me?
There was thoughts.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I can't go out like this.
Yeah. That is terrifying.
So for me, Water, I'm just staying right there where I can see my feet. That's it. I'm not going back out anymore.
Here's a good. This is why we'll go to my store. So my buddy's like, "Hey, we're gonna paddleboard and we're gonna go out to a couple reefs and then we're gonna do our snorkeling from there." Okay.
Yeah.
So paddling out, the current was going. It was like semi with you, but not really. You're doing work to get out there.
Okay.
And the entire time, I'm like, "Bro, you gotta turn around and go back."
Right.
And he's not even paying attention to me. He does this a couple times a week, whatever the case is. This is why I was saying it's like the equivalent of running. It's like telling somebody, "Hey, when's the last time you've ran?" "I haven't ran in a while." "Cool, let's do a half marathon." No, you don't do that. You like ease into it.
Right.
Get all the way out there. By the time I'm coming back, and we
now you're going against the current.
Now I'm going against the current, and I got no like.
Oh man,
we got to go, Trev. We're set up shop over there. And I'm going way over there.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm also not even going anywhere near where I need to go. But I'm like, as long as I'm just getting closer to the shore,
I can walk the rest of the way.
I will walk. I'll be more than happy to walk and drag this paddleboard all the way out there. Freaking did a half marathon.
Yeah. The ocean is beautiful. I like to sit near it and look at it and listen to it. I do not need to be in it.
Yep.
It is a very powerful, terrifying, mysterious force that I do not mess with.
You have great respect. You have
I
great
got
respect.
Respect from afar.
Fear, quite frankly. Like I'll go to the next step. Respect for, but I'm scared of it. I've told you this, guy. My recurring nightmare. Okay, the one that I hate opiates. Right? They give me terrible nightmares. But my back bothers me sometimes, and it's the only thing that makes me feel better.
Okay.
So I will take one occasion when my back is killing me, and I know what's going to happen because I have the same dream every time. I'm at the beach with my kids. They're much younger than they are now. They're 5 and 7 or whatever. One's to my left, one's to my right. The ocean comes in, pulls them both out, and I got to make a choice as to which way I'm going. And it's the
hell kind of a
worst
dream is
thing
that?
ever.
I thought you were going more like Leonardo DiCaprio. Remember on Titanic when he turns around and he looks and it's like, hey, what's up, Travis? What you doing here?
It is the worst feeling in the world, and it happens it's always involved in the ocean.
That was a dream of yours. That was Kirk's real life when he
I saw
went
that.
5 miles out on a jet ski.
Done. Not doing it ever again.
No,
never again.
No,
I'm just done. I like you said.
That's 51% your fault for going on a straight line away from the shore.
51%. I'm going 83%.
But that is a respect that you said that you have to have for ocean, for water.
How many of the Kirkland shirts do you have?
The one that Kirk has on, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, A, good job. If you're not, B, get on it. If my name were Kirk Rogers, I would have nothing but Kirkland shirts.
Yeah.
It's Kirkland when Kirk Morrison wears it.
Also,
I
Kirk
have all three.
Rogers fits you.
Yeah, I'd be all right with that.
Yeah.
You'd be good
I
with
have
Kirk
every color. So
got them all?
I got the black, I got the white, the gray.
Are you a
And
Kirkland
hoodies.
customer the way I am? If you go through my house, you can't go 10 feet without a Kirkland item.
I'm a guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. The new item, by the way.
Go.
Kirkland burnt ends.
Stop.
Last night had it popping.
How'd you in a pan, air fryer, oven?
So this is what I do. I do the 3 minutes microwave to
Okay.
kind of break it up.
Yeah.
Break them up, another 3 minutes, and then I put it on broil in the air fryer. It gives it a nice little crisp.
Little chew.
Yeah, and then what you do is right before you take them out, put a little bit of glaze. So I'm a big Kinder's barbecue guy.
Okay.
So I did a little Kinder's barbecue bowl with a little spicy teriyaki.
Did you make a burnt end sandwich?
No, I didn't do the sandwich. I just did it burnt ends by themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Put it back in with a nice little broiled glaze. So now it's like glazed and has that little bubble. Let it sit for a minute.
Tell
and
me how
boom.
that's not like a little bit of some kind of a pregame segment.
I was
before every
by the way,
football game.
Yeah, we're going to talk food.
That's not
We
a
talk a
bad-
lot of food on
We
the
do.
pregame show, but the burnt ends segment, burnt ends, brought to you by Kirk and Trav. we're on to something.
That's something that now that Kirkland brand is now doing. They didn't do that before. It was another brand that was doing. I was buying them.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, Kirkland's like, "No, you're not going to steal the burnt ends from us."
Costco's like, listen, we already have 98% of the customers. Let's get 99.
Burnt ends is I got to try that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you see it on a menu, you're like, the worst burnt end you've ever had is
It's
really
still
good.
amazing.
Is really, really good. And that's the bad one. The good ones are like, forget it. It's like meat candy. It's the best thing in the world. Mandy's 3. Kirk's going to be there. Al's going to be there at noon. And the rest of us, we get started opening the doors at 4 o'clock at the Commerce Casino for Mandy's 3. Meet and greets and entertainment at 5. And we start giving out the hardware. Champagne and nut trophies starting at 8. The biggest 710 party of the year. We're going to celebrate everything that is 710. Tickets are sold out, but that doesn't mean you can't get in. But you got to listen all day long for your chance to win your way in. Special thanks to the law offices of Joseph S. Normand for presenting the Man of the People Award this year. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand, injury attorneys you can trust. 213-747-2000. Back to the Lakers
Also,
and how to make AD the focal point.
Kirk had an idea about the Dodgers, or at least Dodger Stadium, that I thought was kind of interesting. We can talk about that too on the other side.
All right, don't go anywhere, Kirk. We're doing that next. It's Trav and Slee. Slee's back. Kirk's here. A lot going on. 710 ESPN. Speaking of the home of the L.A. Kings, Jim Fox, former L.A. Kings player, current L.A. Kings broadcaster, is going to join us about 10 minutes from right now and talk about the Kings coming to 7-10 and talk a little bit about the team, talk a little bit about the Stanley Cup final, that Game 6 tomorrow night in Edmonton with... I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Talk about it on the pregame show when you and I do it, Kirk. Slee, you've heard me say it a million times. Pucker factor, right?
Yep.
The pucker factor for Florida is going to be off the charts coming into this game. They were up 3-0, and they are one road game away from being tied 3-3. It's awesome. I can't wait.
All the way back. Imagine, you just said it, Kirk. Can you imagine now you're taking the flight back to Florida?
Back to Florida.
Tied 3 apiece.
What's that pucker factor feel like?
All the pressure that's there. Yeah, listen, of course, you never want to be down 0-3, and I'm not trying to make a case for it, but there is a little bit of, well, the series is over, so we might as well just play.
You usually get the one, like the
find
Mavs beat them by 30 or whatever the number was, and you're like, yeah, whatever. They go back to Boston, and Boston just drills them, right?
I remember this, first take tried to sell me that, like, oh, if they win this one, if they win game 5, I'm like, dude, no.
Okay, so
game 5, whatever. But now
this is different.
The series might turn tomorrow night. It's terrific.
Obviously, I wasn't here for the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
That might have been the most anticlimactic NBA final. It's been a while since I was so uninterested. And it's not like Luka is a marquee player in the league.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving hit arguably one of the biggest shots in NBA Finals history. He's got a lot of experience in the playoffs. The Celtics is a big brand,
of course,
that has Tatum and Jaylen Brown and expectations and everything else. Was I on my own here, or were a lot of people just kind of like, the finals are happening?
The games weren't good.
Games weren't good.
The games weren't good.
Yeah.
The Celtics lost 3 games in the playoffs. It was non-competitive. You know, like you can sell stories and players. If the games are, oh, this isn't a good game. You can't. You can tell this story. Okay, cool. Oh, this game sucks.
Yep,
I'm bouncing, and the games were bad. They weren't close. They were the best team all year long.
Yep.
They steamrolled the East. They steamrolled the Mavs. It wasn't interesting. The Celtics are a great team.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they only lost, including the playoffs, I think they only lost something like 30 games all year long. Just an extraordinary run. Might even be less than that. The games are boring.
I mean,
they just weren't good.
We knew going into it before it even started. You had no KD. Or KD, you had him in the first round. That was it. No LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
No Steph.
Yep.
Yeah.
After the first round, it was really, look, in the number 1 seed.
Jokic was out in the second round.
Jokic out in the second round. Oklahoma City Thunder, the best team in the West, they're out.
Giannis was out.
Giannis was out.
Everybody Boston had to go through was like a walk in the park to get to the NBA Finals. They played with their food in a lot of those games, but still won.
At the end of the day, they lost 3 games, like you said, Travis.
They
That's
just
what it is. I mean,
absolutely
they were going to win
everybody.
regardless, and then on top of that, you throw in Anthony Edwards. Everybody, we try to put Anthony Edwards above. This is who he is now, and I'm like, no, he's still.
They were so
He's
desperate.
good.
He's ascending.
He's ascending. He's still
doing
not.
his thing.
He's not. John Morant. Same thing. You put John Morant up there, and he's fallen from grace so quickly. It's just it's what we do.
So
we apologize to Luka. We apologize to Kyrie, and you realize. I've never seen so many people praise him one week, and then the next week, like, oh, this dude's fat.
Luka?
Right. Well, two things can be true at the same time. He is awesome, and he should be in better shape.
Right.
Both of those things are true.
Before you were praising him, then all of a sudden, well,
Luka's the greatest. Look how he slows down. I'm like, he doesn't slow down, he's slow.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Hopefully we get a blowout on Saturday night, too, and Emily wins Producer of the Year. All the awards are going to be handed out on Saturday night at Commerce Casino. Doors open at 4. Slee's there at sometime after 8 o'clock in the morning. Meet and greets. Entertainment start at 5. And then the trophies start being handed out at 8. It is our biggest night of the year. We're going to celebrate the station like never before. It's going to be a great night. Tickets are sold out, but you can keep listening all day long for your chance to win your way into Mandy's 3. Special thanks to George Chevrolet presenting the Producer of the Year award this year. George Chevrolet, your 6-time Chevy Dealer of the Year.
And by the way, congrats to the lucky ticket winners that I just gave it out. And I just found out that one of them is my guy from Trader Joe's.
Oh, okay.
Carl, shout out. And
Good job, Carl.
He was
Carl
like,
from Trader Joe's.
Do you want me to bring you anything from Trader Joe's?
Have him bring those dark chocolate peanut clusters. Those things are amazing.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, everybody has their very specific Trader Joe's.
You should give him like a full
everybody has. Okay, well, what's yours, Em? What's yours from Trader Joe's?
So I will not go a trip without their mozzarella sticks. That's one that I always get. I like specifically their mozzarella sticks and their version of a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Those are really good.
That's all I was going to say. I could walk into Trader Joe's, just get the peanut butter cups.
They're really good.
One more too.
All day.
Their ice cream sandwiches are really good. So they have these like ice cream the cookie ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah.
And with like the little chocolate chips on the outside. The best version of this that's available in the market. I swear.
Trader Joe's plantain chips that they do as well. Those are freaking
Hey, Carl, if you can bring a bag of those chips that look like Takis. Those lemon chili ones. Oh, bro.
Well, she just sends him a full grocery list. She's like, hey, since you asked, I need bananas, I need onions.
What is your go-to?
There's too many seasonal items that come in and they just go.
Yes.
So that's what messes me up.
Oh, some truffle dip from
the truffle
Holiday?
dip. Oh, it's gone. The truffle dip was amazing. It was there for like 3 weeks, and you come back, he's like, "Hey, where's the truffle dip?"
I stock up and I put it in my freezer.
It's gone, brother.
Holidays are over, Mr. Morrison. Beat it.
But they have this. Oh my God, they have this. They only have it. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 months, but this banana pudding ice cream.
Okay.
A banana pudding.
You guys are banana guys. I just
real deal.
But banana pudding ice cream is the real deal.
Okay.
And they only have it seasonal. Only seasonal. I'm a Trader Joe's guy.
Right, Joe. Tell Joe to get off his butt.
You can't say you're a Trader Joe's guy while you're rocking your Kirkland shirt.
I can do both. I can do both. But I walk in and I go to the new item section. They always have a new item section there.
And in the back, they're always giving out samples too, which is hard.
Well, they used to not in pandemic, and they brought them back.
They brought it back.
The sample life is back. We're back to where we all intended to be, where there are free bites of food and paper cups. This is why I exist.
Carl at the Mandy's on Saturday, make sure to tell him your favorite Trader Joe's item.
Absolutely. Jim Fox, former King, member of the Kings broadcast team, joining us coming up next to talk about the Kings coming to 710 ESPN.
All right, breaking news from Pizza Hut. Introducing 30% off menu price medium and large pizzas for a limited time. All your favorite Pizza Hut pizzas are all 30% off. Just find the deals page on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com, and you can order now. We have pineapples on there. I'm fine with that. Throw pepperoni, sausage, some onions, some green peppers. I want the full works right there. Pizza Hut's been nice enough these last year or so. They're always bringing in pizza for us, so we greatly appreciate it. Take advantage of this offer right now. Like I said, 30% off. Just find the deals page on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com. Not valid on limited time pizza offers or any other discounts.
Major announcement number 2. Well, with 10 days to spare on his current contract, after months of tireless negotiating, Cappy finally did the right thing and signed the deal. Congratulations to Cappy on a new multi-year contract that will keep him on the LA Afternoon Drive takeover for years to come.
.710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
You know what that music means? That means that hockey is on ESPN, and specifically Kings hockey is now going to be heard on the 710 ESPN app on 710 ESPN. We announced a new partnership with the LA Kings earlier this morning. The Kings dropped a new logo, or kind of an old new logo today as well. Joining us right now is a former Kings player and, of course, a member of their broadcast team, Jim Fox. Jim, welcome to 710 ESPN. I can't tell you how happy we are to get to talk a little LA Kings hockey on the station.
Well, same here. There's no question whatsoever. It's just great to be back with ESPN, and it's one of those things where, the Kings have been growing in this market, growing, and now it's a time to take another big step, and there's no other better way to do that than join you guys. So it's an honor to be involved once again, and we just hope to grow the sport more and more.
Absolutely. So let me jump right into this, Foxy, that the Kings have gotten knocked out by the Oilers 3 years in a row. And the Oilers are still hanging on, and we'll get to that in a second. How do the Kings find a way to beat that team that's been the thorn in their side the last 3 seasons?
I've got to start it this way. I have to start it this way. Before the playoffs started this year, everyone's asking me because our regular season record against the Dallas Stars was awful. And we did pretty good against the Edmonton Oilers. So most everyone's saying we've got to stay, we've got to stay away from the Dallas Stars, and they wanted the Edmonton Oilers again. And I'm saying no. They have the player, the one guy in the world that can win a game all by himself. We've got to stay away from Connor McDavid. You've got no. Dallas kicked our butt during the night. Stay away from McDavid. So if you want to beat Edmonton, guys, have Connor McDavid traded from the Oilers. That's the way to put it.
The LA Kings new home coming back to 710 ESPN, and Jim Fox taking some time here to join us on the Travis and Sliwa show. Jim, I'm curious to get your thoughts. Trav is a big hockey fan and always has been. There is a way to define, because I think a lot of people talk about this, the Kings experience. When you're at a game at Crypto.com, there is a lot of passionate Kings fans. For more of a casual fan, more of a hockey fan, can you talk a little bit about the experience of being at a Kings game and being at Crypto for a game?
Yeah, I think that's the different thing that hockey brings, perhaps more than most other sports, and I'm sure every other sport has their take on things. But I think it's universal when you talk to people that have never been to a game live. Now, keep in mind, guys, I'm a TV guy, right? I want you to watch on TV. But the best experience, there's no question, is to be there live. First of all, if you're new to the game, you get to see the entire rink at the same time. Of course, on TV, they focus on who has the puck, and you lose what's going around the play. You don't see plays develop. So when you're there live, you get that. And then the intensity. I don't think there's anyone that would argue that the intensity for hockey just goes up a notch. And anyone, you can watch it on TV, you can listen on radio, and that's the way. You've got to keep informed. You've got to keep in touch with everyone. But to get there and feel part of the family, I think that's what it is. I remember back to 2012 when the Kings won the Cup, and we had the parade. And along the parade route, you see little kids, grandkids. You see, their brothers and sisters. You see their mom and dad. You see the grandparents. You see them all there together because, the Kings have been around 57 years now. And that's what you feel when you get into a building. You feel a whole group coming together rooting for a team.
Jim Fox, member of the LA Kings broadcast team, joining us here on Travis and Sliwa. The Kings joining 710. You're going to get to hear the games on the app and right here on 710, a number of games as well. You talk about the atmosphere. You talk about the family. You talk about the energy. And, Foxy, I want to go back to the Miracle on Manchester. You were on that team as a player. You're down 5 goals to an excellent Edmonton team, a Wayne Gretzky-led Edmonton team, and kind of putting it together with what we're seeing happen in the Stanley Cup final right now with Edmonton and the Florida Panthers. When that momentum starts to change, and all of a sudden the team that was way ahead, 3-0 in the Panthers' case, 5-0, or a 5-goal lead, I should say, in Edmonton's case with the Kings back in 82, when do you know, hey, this is actually starting to happen? We're going to do the impossible.
Well, when it's pucker time.
See?
That's when you know. Yeah, that's when you know. You know what? It's a weird thing. most coaches and players say that momentum does not change from game to game. But certainly there's no question internally, part of a single game, it changes. And you know what? I'll be honest. I don't know if you can put your finger on it.
Yeah.
But it's a sense, it's a feel, it's looking across the room or looking down the bench in hockey and, looking at your teammates' eyes. And then there are certain cues you get from the other team. There are. In Edmonton's case, they were a little bit uppity, back in the Miracle in Manchester. They were kind of smirking at us and laughing at us and things. And that kind of just fed it. When we got close, it fed things. For the Florida Panthers right now, they're feeling it. They're feeling it. And you just got to look into your teammates' eyes. That's what you got to do. You just got to figure out, hey, guys, we're good enough. We've done it before. Let's do it again.
Jim, I'm never going to hear the end of this because Trav and I were talking like 15 minutes ago, and he kept using the word,
I heard you guys.
The pucker factor. No, it was even even off air. He was just like, it's the pucker factor. He was breaking
it happens.
Down. And the fact that that's what you repeated, I'm
happens.
not going to hear the end of that.
Well, it does. It does. And it's, what? It's not as much. I really don't think you take away from the other team and what you're doing, what they're trying to do. I think confidence builds with your own team. So, for instance, Edmonton in the Florida Panthers series right now was a game 4. They win 8-1. I don't think that hurts Florida as much as it helps Edmonton. It's just a confidence build. Florida knows they're a good team, and of course they lost Game 5. Now you go into Game 6, but they know they're a good team. But now it's building Edmonton's confidence. They won so big. They've got their power play going again. All those things that start to build, and I think that's a huge factor right now. So I think it really does have less to do with a team like the Florida Panthers right now and more to do with how good Edmonton feels about themselves.
Jim Fox, member of the LA Kings broadcast team, joining us here on 710 ESPN. We announced a new partnership with the Kings earlier this morning. Very excited about that. Kings made a move yesterday. Darcy Kemper straight up for Pierre-Luc Dubois. Why did that not work, Foxy? Because it obviously there's a lot of upside there. It never really came together. Why do you think it didn't happen?
Yeah, you know what? And, Rob Blake was pretty blunt, the Kings general manager yesterday, just saying that he felt the front office did not do a good enough job with the fit. So a lot of people understand, for Pierre-Luc Dubois to maybe get to his potential, he would have to play higher up in the lineup where he was dropped to kind of like the third-line centerman, and he wasn't able to maximize what he was doing. Now, having said that, PL has a lot of baggage in his career so far.
Sure.
He's still a young player, and he still has a lot of potential, a lot of growth, but he has a lot of baggage there. So you're trying to figure that out. The biggest thing, I think, is the emergence of Quentin Byfield last year because he was drafted as a centerman. He started as a centerman, really didn't do well. They moved to the wing. He flourished. He got better. He grew. And now he's at the point where they want to move him back to center again. And if you're going to do that, then, it's almost kind of like there's no more room for P.L. Dubois. It's great to have that growth with Quentin, and he's going to be able to move into a center position and take over that. But you know what? Let's face it, guys. And I think Rob touched on it. It was a mistake. It was an error. And, Rob took full responsibility for it. It just reminds me, guys, of, the passing of Jerry West recently. I came into contact with Jerry a few times, and the one thing he would say is you're going to make mistakes. You're going to, especially as a front office guys, you're going to make mistakes, but don't let that, scare you from trying the next thing. And I think that's what Rob and the Kings tried to do. They tried to shore up a goaltending position with Darcy Kemper coming back to the Kings. But for the most part was this. They recognized their mistake. They made another move, and they're going to try to move on from there.
Jim, final one for me, just to kind of play off of that. I know it's still very, very early. We got a long way to go till next season starts. But what is kind of your vision or the evolution of this Kings team and how they get back in the mix? I know Edmonton has been the biggest hurdle for them, but what do you expect next year?
Well, you know what? I expect, first of all, they have Jim Hiller taking over as the new head coach. He was interim for the last part of the year. Righted things, got the Kings into the playoffs. I do expect a little bit of a change in their approach, the system approach, and how they approach things. Every team's going to say, guys, you're going to win with defense. But I think the Kings' transition to offense hurt a little bit. It wasn't as good as it could be, so I expect a little bit of a tweak there, and Jim Hiller will be behind that. And then more than the X's and O's, I just feel that, and I talked about it last year, guys, when the Kings started to struggle, and I used the word soul. I said the team is fighting and searching for the soul of the group, not the identity, but there was just something missing, and I expect that to be corrected this year, whether it's internally in the locker room, whether it's how the coaches, sell their system, whether how the players accept that and receive that. I expect that to come around this year, and everyone's going to realize that the one most important thing is to make sure everyone is believing in what is being sold to them. And if that's not the case, you're going to have to move on. But everyone get on the same page.
Jim Fox, a member of the Kings broadcast team, joining us, announced a new partnership with the Kings earlier this morning. We're going to get to hear their games, all the games on the app, and a bunch of games right here on 710 ESPN. Last one for me, too, Foxy, and kind of a two-parter here. How is Anze Kopitar this good after 18 years in the league?
Yeah.
And I'm going to take 99 and slide him aside for a second. Is Kopitar the greatest King in LA history, 99 aside?
You know what? This is the way I look at it. And, I'm sure Wayne would understand what I'm saying. I think of Wayne as an Edmonton Oiler. He won 4 Stanley Cups with the Edmonton Oilers. He brought the Kings to the first Stanley Cup final. Couldn't get over that hump. But so for that reason, I certainly look at it that way. I look at Anze Kopitar, just the immense value he has brought, because the numbers he's putting up offensively are being put up with a player that does not sacrifice defense for that offense. He doesn't do the Doncic stuff. He plays both. He plays both sides, right?
Luka getting shade there. I like that.
He plays both, and that's where that separates him. And then you add the longevity. And then you add, at the end now, he's got 2 more years on the contract, and he may have had his best season last year.
Yeah.
You put that all together, I think your argument is well presented, and I would be right there in agreement with you that Anze Kopitar is the best LA King ever. And now we've got Luc Robitaille, who's played with us, but back and forth. The thing that probably separates the guys is Anze's been with this franchise throughout his entire career. He has not moved anywhere else.
18 years in an LA Kings uniform, just remarkable. And like Jim said right there, he's got a couple more at least to wear the Kings colors, which, by the way, they announced a new logo today, kind of a throwback to the Gretzky era. I know that there's going to be some stuff available at the team store at crypto.com. And, of course, in conjunction with the announcement that the Kings are going to be partners with us here at 710 ESPN. Fox, I look forward to talking to you a bunch over the next few months and years, hopefully. Always love talking hockey. Thanks for coming on with us.
Thank you for having me, and it's great to be back with you guys. Great to be back. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You got it. Pucker factor, Slia. I told you.
That was all you, bro.
You get tight.
You should have looked your eyes when they locked into me. You're like, did you hear them?
They get tight, and all of a sudden you start to pucker.
Makes sense.
You pucker.
Makes
sense. And then it's hard to perform when you're puckered.
Hey, it's a different term, but it happens in all sports.
It's in every sport.
Yep.
You can pucker. Rory McIlroy puckered at Pinehurst.
Yep.
The Florida Panthers are puckering on their way to Edmonton to take on the Oilers. The Dodgers, the last 2 seasons, have puckered in the playoffs.
You're right.
It happens. It happens all the time. That was terrific. Factor Cap coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
Time for Factor Cap.
Oh, that's cap. That's so cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go fact.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hi, guys.
Aloha.
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 Go, Kings, go. Let's go.
Right. Andrzej Kopitar, the greatest king of all time, was shocking to me.
Besides
Made
Gretzky.
sense.
Besides Gretzky. It does make sense.
It
18
makes sense.
years, one team, two cups, and has been one of the best players in the league for most of the time he's been in the league.
Yeah, I mean,
so hard to argue.
It is hard to
and
argue.
Gretzky played for St. Louis, the Kings, the Rangers, the Oilers, 4 different teams. Am I missing somebody?
No, you got the Blues in there?
Yeah, I got them.
Okay.
Four. And look, Gretzky's the greatest player ever, obviously.
You got the Rangers in there?
I got the Rangers in there. But Kopitar's, by the time he's ended up with 20 years, all for the Kings, and at least 2 cups.
Yeah, I mean, there's other guys like Roby. Sean was here for a long time.
Marcel Dion.
Marcel Dion was here for a long time. Sorry, I'm getting into Kings now.
All good.
We're a hockey show, Em.
Yep, we are a hockey show. We're going to talk hockey. Some big puck heads over here.
Dave Taylor,
all right.
he was there 18 years or so. Go ahead. Sorry.
So my friend Chandler is visiting, and when you have people visiting, I don't have a guest room necessarily with an extra guest bed, so I put her on an air mattress. So we come home from trivia last night, so it's about like 11 o'clock last night, and so we're trying to be quiet because my roommate didn't end up coming to trivia with us because he wasn't feeling super great, and so we plug in the air mattress, and it's a queen air mattress, and you try to be quiet, but it's just
Of course, yeah, you're not.
for,
You're not keeping quiet with that. Might as well start the lawnmower.
It's better than.
You're all lightheaded.
Right.
There is no casual way to set up an air mattress. Travis, Factor Cap.
100% fact. It's either you get an air compressor, you've got one of those foot pumps. You ever remember those things? You have to stomp it to pump it up.
I got those.
You got to stuff it and put
much quieter.
A little quieter, but then you're going to have a heart attack as you're doing it. Or you got to drive it down to the gas station, fill it like 90% so you can stuff it back in the car, and then go home and try to get the last 10% going. Right? It's impossible to do it without it being a giant problem.
Greg?
Yeah, no, it's fact. But I mean, the only way would to be is that you have to blow it up manually, which I've done very many times. It's awful. And by the time you're done, you're like
9 breaths in. I'm like, I can't even see what's going on.
A beach ball's hard to blow up.
Yeah, a full air mattress.
Yeah.
Just the floaties for the. It's too much.
Yeah. Al?
So I go cap, and I think the only way to do it is when nobody's home and you're by yourself and it's like noon. Because other than that, it is incredibly loud. It's going to bother somebody. And I love that your roommate didn't come because he wasn't feeling good. And then in the middle of the night, all he hears is like, what the hell is going on out there? So,
have you guys seen those ones you can kind of snap in the air and close them real quick? Like you fill them with the surrounding air?
Yeah, but those always aren't
They're
really
super janky, but at least it's 1 billion times faster.
Right. Jorge?
No, you should have turned it on. Your neighbors keep you up all night. Hey,
That's
might as well.
That's right.
Hey,
it's all
payback,
bed related.
Take it outside.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think that they heard it necessarily. I think they're busy on their own selves. All right, so while I don't know where this sign is from, I'm assuming it's in the Boston surrounding area. But someone posted on Twitter a picture of a sign, again, surrounding Boston area. I don't know exactly what town this is from. But it's a McDonald's sign, and the McDonald's sign reads this, they can put up, 5 for 5 meal or whatever. But this sign says, "Congrats to our customer Jason Tatum." And while it might be that just Jason Tatum goes to McDonald's, but if it's this specific McDonald's, you wouldn't want McDonald's airing your dirty laundry out like that. Berg, Factor Cap.
Oh, that's a good question.
It's not like you're saying, thanks to our customer, Emily Hebel at Equinox Gym. Or Sweet Green. It's like here's
Gold's
McDonald's.
Gym.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tatum. Let's go.
Emily Hebel, producer of the year 710 at the McDonald's.
That's a good question. I'll say cap though, because Jason, maybe you'll get more people to go to that specific McDonald's by saying our customer Jason Tatum.
I'm saying if you're Jason Tatum, you wouldn't want your dirty laundry aired out like that.
No, I mean he doesn't care. He does all that stuff. If he eats McDonald's, he's not afraid of it. No, I'll go cap on that.
Al?
I'll go cap because I don't know if Tatum is already doing national commercials for McDonald's, but if McDonald's finds out that Jason Tatum is going to a specific McDonald's, there might be some ads out there that are paying millions of dollars in endorsements.
He better not be endorsing Burger King. That's all I'm saying.
There was when Jason Kelsey gave his McDonald's employee that he always sees the drive-thru, signed things and stuff. They didn't offer Jason to be it, so I don't know. Maybe in the future there is. Trev?
I think it's fact for one very specific reason. It has nothing to do with professional athlete eating fast food or anything like that. If Jason Tatum actually is a customer of that particular McDonald's, and now locals know that Jason Tatum comes through here regularly,
You're gonna camp out there?
now I can't go to that McDonald's anymore
because the drive-through.
Well, okay, but still, if they know he's coming through and you're a Celtics fanatic or something, they're going to stake that place out and wait for him.
You're camping outside of McDonald's for 24/7.
Yeah, I'm telling.
That's a special kind of fan.
Yeah, because we know those don't exist.
That does happen.
Right? I mean, how long have you worked here?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that this is, people will do crazy things if they know you're going to be in a spot eventually, and now all of a sudden, I got to go find a new location. If I'm that McDonald's, it's cool. If I'm an employee, it's cool.
You don't want.
I don't want anybody to know where I am.
Doesn't want
any
place.
This
to
is
know
the
where
spot
he's
that I
at.
come through. I get my McDoubles and my McNuggets, and I'm down the road, and I'm feeling good about it. Now I got to go swing through another place. No way.
Just lean into it. You're an NBA champion now.
Yeah, no, Cap, because these guys get photos of them taken on a banana boat or whatever. There's bigger business out there that they put out. So this is fine.
All right, so Joe Mazzulla was on a podcast.
He's loving
it.
Nice.
So Joe Mazzulla was on a podcast the other day, and the many things that we know about Joe Mazzulla is that he loves the town. He plays the town for his team over
the movie
and over,
with Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner
in Boston, over and over and over for his players. But he said that Joe Mazzulla watched The Departed before Game 5 to get quote-unquote mentally prepared. So there is a movie that you would watch to get mentally prepared for something big. So, before you have your big speech with the Mandy's, you're going to go watch, I don't know, The Departed or Godfather or something like that. So Al, Factor Cap.
Only one that jumps into mind right away because it's such like a motivational thing is like Rocky. Right? Like there's certain scenes from Rocky.
Oh, by the way, did you do the steps?
No.
How did you not do the steps?
He was there for 12 hours, man. He could only go so many places.
You can go to get. Okay, here's what you do in 12 hours in Philly.
No, we screwed up on that one. We did Liberty Bell.
You did Liberty Bell and not the steps?
And you
shadow boxed. It's just a crack at a bell.
I know.
You should have done the steps over the Liberty Bell. You totally failed that one.
No, Liberty Bell's cool.
Liberty Bell.
No, it's not. It's just a crack at a bell. It didn't actually
Totally
happen.
agreed.
Right, it
100% agree with Emily.
So much history to the country, but yes.
Please, they dropped the
so
bell.
much history of the country. No.
Since we're talking about this, I still find it endlessly hilarious that the most iconic Philly athlete of all time is fictional.
Yes.
It is just it's
amazing.
It is insane to me that the pinnacle of Philadelphia athletics is fiction.
Well,
Rocky
there's a big old statue for him.
It's crazy.
Anyway, Travis?
What was the question?
There's a movie
Rocky
you
and
would
steps.
watch to get mentally prepared. For something you want to be motivated for.
No,
Top
not
Gun?
really. I do like Top Gun. But I'd watch the bar scenes with Penny Benjamin. I'd watch her sailing her boat to
get prepared for something?
To relax, just to get in the proper mindset. No, I am not a rah-rah speech guy. I am not a slogan guy. I am a just get your stuff together and I'm going to let this play out. I know I'm a prepared guy. I do not need somebody to run me through a wall.
Berg?
I agree, but there's two movies that so it'd be Cap. But if there's two movies that I would do, Miracle, which I think it was a great movie and always gets you pumped at the end of it. It's
Can
amazing.
I guess the next one?
You're not gonna guess it.
Lethal Weapon 2.
that may.
And then don't spoil our next
No,
draft.
it's actually you may have seen. There's no chance you saw this movie. Robert Redford, James Gandolfini, The Last Castle.
I don't think I've seen it.
Really good movie. Robert Redford's in jail and how he just deals with all that. And like he has to build this wall and he's just by himself. He's building a wall it's amazing movie. Very uplifting. That movie gets you going.
The best scene in Miracle. I mean, we know the story. They beat the 1980 hockey team, but and Kurt Russell does a great job playing Herb Brooks. Where after they beat the Soviets and they're playing the Finns in the gold medal game, and he does the speech before the Soviets, if we played them 10 times, they might beat us, but not tonight. That's awesome. But then he does the one where before the games against Finney comes in. If you lose this game, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And he just leaves. I'm like, let's go. That is exactly what you want to hear.
The fact that Herb Brooks never actually saw that movie.
I know.
He says it at the end. He didn't see it. He lived it.
Right.
It's just so sad because he would have absolutely loved it.
It was terrific.
Jorge?
Absolutely. Hook. Every Thursday. Every Thursday, I listen to it so we can go into our draft and see what I'm going to snatch this time.
I purposefully have kept all of my picks away from you as my prep for the draft. The next segment. And by the way, I didn't watch a movie before I get motivated, but when I was a kid and I was swimming and I was like competitive swimming, it was my peak of my swimming career, I would listen to Pump It from Black Eyed Peas over and over over again. And honestly, it got me going.
No, but my real
Pump It louder, come on.
But my movie would be Rudy. All right, let's go.
No,
Just kidding.
Rudy's going. That's the exact wrong answer.
You know they hated Rudy, right? The guys on the team hated his guts.
Not this movie.
They hated him. Like I told you this when Joe Montana came by the Super Bowl set one year where it was when Rudy was said he goes, was I on the team with that guy? I didn't even know. Like I didn't even know that. Yeah, I didn't even know. Was I on that team? Like he didn't even know he existed.
You're saying he didn't actually put his jersey down and saying,
Rudy.
Never Rudy.
Come on, Slee.
Never Rudy.
I'm with you, bro.
What's our draft, Em?
It's going to be
it's at 11:30 or 12:30.
Best sequels. So snake draft of sequels because Karate Kid Part 2 came out today.
And then the little drum, and it goes back and forth. That is a wonderfully terrible movie. I love everything about it. Our snake draft is coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Rotolo Chevrolet does not need a sequel because they just win everything every year. Unless you count the 12 Dealer of the Year awards after their first Dealer of the Year awards sequels, then they're in the sequels because they've won Dealer of the Year 13 times in a row. Here's how. Selection, they got you covered. Make, model, color, Silverados, yep, whatever you want on that Chevy line, they've got you covered there. The pricing, they're going to give you a great deal on your new Chevy car or truck. But the customer service, second to none. Across the board, you're going to feel good about it. You're going to know what's going on. You're never going to feel like, hey, I don't exactly understand what that is. Never at Rotolo Chevrolet. Courteous, transparent, upfront, day after day after day, because that's how Mike Capozio insists that it's going to be. Why do you think he's dancing on TV all the time? Because he's in a good mood, because he just won another Dealer of the Year award. Go see for yourself what all the fun's about at Rotolo Chevrolet. It's right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. You cannot miss it. A sea of Silverados. And if Fontana, maybe it's just a little bit farther than you want to go online at rotolochevy.com. ROTOLO, rotolochevy.com. And whether you go in, whether you go online, make sure you tell them that Travis sent you.
No, live from LA Live on 710 ESPN.
All right, guys, it's time for our snake draft because it's 12 o'clock on a Thursday, and we are going to be drafting best sequels because, Inside Out 2 is killing at the box office right now, as well as his anniversary of Karate Kid Part 2. So my specifications on this, it has to be the second movie. It has to be the second movie. It can't be the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 10th, whatever. It has to be the second movie of a series.
Yep.
Whatever it is. So we have 3 picks each, 12 total, because all that can fit on the graphic, right, DeAndre?
See.
Parker's not here. Is he not here? I don't know.
DeAndre's back there today.
Yes. All right, so Travis, you are first off the board, and don't you dare.
Well, I don't know if I'm daring or not. I think this is pretty easy, quite frankly, to have the top pick here. There are a lot of really good choices, but I think this is one of the few movies that has an unbelievable opener that a lot of people think is actually better than the unbelievable opener, Godfather 2.
Yeah, you just won.
Yeah.
You just won.
Yeah. I mean, that's. I think that's this is the Wembanyama, right? It's the obvious one, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, not according to Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes, well, not number 1 overall. I think it is actually number 1 overall. But in Emily's heart, no, it's number 2 overall. In Emily's heart, this is the best sequel of all time. This is the movie that formed me as a Pixar nerd. This is a movie.
You're picking second? Sorry.
This is a movie that made me to love certain characters and everything like that. So I'm going to go Toy Story 2.
Great choice.
It's one of the saddest. I know there's Up has that sad scene, but one of the saddest scenes to me is Jessie getting left under the bed by her owner, Emily.
Oh.
And it's like, when somebody loved me. Oh,
well,
gosh.
boys showed up, Em. That's why she ditched Jesse and
boys, friends, painting your nails, all that stuff. Like, you grow older and you lose the things that tied you to childhood.
I love that movie for The Prospector, too. Kelsey Grammer. He's terrific in that.
Yes. So Toy Story 2 is my first pick in the sequel draft. Jorge.
There's a list. I think I'm going to pick The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight.
Very good.
Great choice.
The Dark Knight is one of
Al,
those
you getting being fourth in this one's a tough draw.
Yeah, so I'll stay with Nolan.
Yeah.
That was my 1, 2, 3. All right, let's go with. Okay, question here, because I don't know that. Is Indiana Jones Last Crusade the second one, or is that the third one?
I am looking it up right now. I do not know.
Temple of Doom might have been the second
Crystal
one.
Skull?
It's the third.
Yeah,
Okay.
Temple of Doom is the second one.
Okay, Indiana Jones Temple of Doom then is my number 4.
Indiana Jones 2.
Indiana Jones 2. I'll go this one as well. This is another classic, Terminator 2. Terminator 2 with my
Love that movie.
next pick.
The Liquid Terminator.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy was badass.
The graphics were cool.
It was a very
That's
cool
right,
movie.
yes.
I have actually not seen any Terminators.
The
So-
first Terminator is a classic.
I know I will eventually.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I didn't watch The Matrix yet, but it just
Arnold
wasn't in my household.
Schwarzenegger speaks maybe 25 words the entire movie.
So it's like John Wick.
Yeah, but they're iconic words. Like there are words you've heard
Like, get to
100
the
times.
chopper.
That was from Commando, but yes, same
I thought
idea.
it was from Predator.
Oh, you're right. It is. You're right. You're right. I had that wrong. Who's next? Jorge. Uh-oh.
Actually, what we're going to do, we're going to get out of this right now. Breaking news. We will go back to a snake draft at some point, maybe.
What we got?
JJ Redick has agreed to a 4-year contract to become the next coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Rob Pelinka offered the job this morning, and Redick started working on a staff to surround himself with experience. This is from Adrian Wojnarowski about 1 minute ago.
So who do they hire in 2026? Because
I'm
with
gonna let
a
this sink in.
because with a
JJ
4-year deal,
4-year deal, I think is fair.
Fair is not the point. Sure, fair, fine, I agree.
Fair.
Fine, fair, great.
Never coached before in the NBA.
Fine. They're preparing for the next 2 years, and that's it. And that's exactly why they're in the position that they're in. I hope he does great.
So they should
I hope he
offer
does great.
a longer term deal and still be in a similar position. What
They
if he's
might not
good
be in
after
a
2
similar
years?
position. Then they're going to have to eat the money.
Mm-hmm.
But they've signaled that this is something that they believe is a short-term solution. That is. I hope he does great, and maybe he will do great, and maybe he'll get a second contract and a third and a fourth and a 10th. I hope that it works out.
Yeah.
But this leads me to believe that they're not sure it's going to work out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think it comes down to me. If they were going to offer 6 years to Dan Hurley, there was a specific reason for it. The type of coach that he is, the amount of experience that he had. I know not in the NBA, but in college, maybe that's what it was going to take to pry him away from Connecticut for a chance to go for a three-peat. I don't think you need to offer that type of deal. Put that to the side for a quick second. If somebody asks, hey, what do you think of JJ Redick agreeing to a 4-year contract to become the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, my answer is going to be the same thing we talked about a month ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. How am I supposed to know if JJ Redick is going to be a good head coach? How am I supposed to know if he's part of the present and the future? I think it does raise the question that you've kind of brought up a couple times. Will this be a short-term thing, or did they finally find their guy?
The second thing you said, I think, is though. Do we know? No. The only way we'll know is that the games are going to be played, and they'll either win games and look good doing it, or they won't. or it'll look similar to what it is, where it's just kind of, all right, this isn't bad, but it's not particularly innovative. Time will tell. Who knows? The second part, I think, is they just told you they don't think it's the future by the term. And if Dan Hurley was, and that was the guy that you needed, then you needed to go bigger for more or whatever it is. Like, I hope that this is landing on Pat Riley by good fortune. I hope that this is the Pat Riley 2.0 hiring as just simply, look, maybe he wasn't the first choice, but he's the right choice. Kind of funny, we were just talking about a second ago, that Miracle, right? There's a great scene in Miracle where his assistant coach goes to Herb Brooks and says, you're not picking the best players. He says, I'm not looking for the best ones, I'm looking for the right ones. And maybe he's the right person for the job at this point. But we're going to have to find out. And I think that's what the Lakers are telling us by the terms of this, is that we need to find out too, because we're committing to what has been kind of their norm over the last few years, that this is kind of a, for lack of a better phrase, a standard deal that they've given to their previous guys.
So if
I hope it works.
And maybe you and I will just have a different take on this for a while, but if a guy like Ty Lue gets a 5-year deal, if Monty Williams, which that I think everybody agreed that was way too much money, but got a 6-year deal. I think a lot of coaches out there, Mike Budenholzer just got a 5-year deal, and he's coming off an NBA championship. I think 4 is I think it's a right. We were talking about this literally about an hour ago. I don't think you had to offer him 5 or 6 or something along those lines, but if you're just tuning in right now, JJ Redick agrees to a 4-year contract to become the Lakers' next head coach.
I think the next part after this, too, is what he does with his staff, because the staff is a big deal under the best of circumstances. Yeah. I would be on the phone, and I'm not, this isn't even like theoretical. Literally, if I were JJ Redick, I would be on the phone to Sean McVay right now, saying, as a first-time head coach, as someone who had never been in that chair, and it's a little different because Sean McVay had been a coach. He had been, in the coaching ranks. J.J. Redick knows what it's like to be in a locker room. J.J. Redick knows what it's like to play in the NBA. But to be in charge, until you're in charge, I don't think you know what you don't know. So I need to have somebody else kind of walk me through it. I'd call Sean and say, hey, what do you wish you knew that you didn't know then, so he can try to accelerate that process? And I'll go back to McVay again. One of the first hires that McVay had was Wade Phillips, who'd been a head coach in Buffalo, who'd been a head coach in Dallas, who'd been a head coach in Denver. And he wasn't Bill Belichick in any of these places, but he'd been around the block a million times. I think that has to be the first hire he has, is a long-time NBA coach that has head coaching experience.
So Woj had put something out, too, to kind of go exactly off of what you were just talking about. Rob Pelinka offered this job this morning. Redick started working on a staff to surround himself with experience. So I think exactly what your point is, and this is going to be the conversation about J.J. Redick, the consistent conversation about him, is he doesn't have experience. He's never done it before. So you better start surrounding him with head coaches that have a ton of experience in the NBA. They know certain predicaments or situations. I don't care if he does a podcast. I don't care how much time he had in the league. Every single day for him to start off, it's going to be new. Even a coach like Luke Walton, who became the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, was coming from the Warriors. He spent time with Steve Kerr. J.J. Redick won't have that.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. And kind of going back to what you're talking about, Slia, and again, if you're just popping on, J.J. Redick has been, or agreed, I should say, to a 4-year contract to become the next coach of the Lakers. I don't know if it's so much the game stuff that he needs experience in that, to be sure, but I think that's probably the thing that he has a better feel for than how do I manage an entire room of assistants? How do I manage an entire room of players?
Stars, personality, media.
How do I manage the training staff? How do I manage the media? Yep. Like, he's been on the other side of this, but now all of a sudden he's going there, and his time as a player will help a little bit, but the head coach, sure, I need to know inbound plays. I need to know how to set up a defense. I need to know how to get a guy a shot at the end of a shot clock. He knows basketball. I'm not so worried about that. I'm worried about, does he know management? Does he know people? Does he know how to get into LeBron in a way that's going to make LeBron respond at his best, or AD, or whoever it may be? That it's not, hey, you set a screen here and we're going to do a pin down on the low block and curl. That's the stuff that I think is the minimum bid to get into coaching. He has to know that. but how do I connect with this guy? How do I make sure that my staff is executing what I want them to execute? That's the part that's going to take some time.
And here's the answer. Nobody has it. Nobody knows. Nobody knows if he's going to be able to jive with some of the personalities on the team, predicament, situations, stars. I hope, for the sake of every Los Angeles Laker fan that's out there, that we could be sitting here in a couple of years and what's happened over the last 10, 12, 13 years is not happening again. Because if there's one thing they are desperate for, it's stability.
Yes.
And I think having a coach, if you go look at every team around sports, typically when you have the same coach or the same manager or the same, however you want to describe it, there is that usually associates with a team that knows what they're doing.
And that's why, not to beat a dead horse, I'm really not trying to do that, but that's why I think that consistency that you're talking about, that look, this is how we're going to execute.
I get that
to
angle.
just buy that, to let everyone know, to let the coach know, to let the players know, to let the fans know that, hey, we're going to ride this out for a while. Because what's the number? It's 7 guys in 13 years.
That's 6 coaches in 13 years.
This makes 7.
Yeah.
Okay, so 7 in 13 years means that you're getting about 2 years on average, and the clock is ticking right away. And I get that that's the nature of the beast with the Lakers. I understand that. But you could at least tamp it down to some degree by saying, we're going to give a little bit more, because you're just buying the continuity. You're buying the extra time, because I don't think they want to do a Monty Williams and do something to can a guy after 1 year. That just an extra year on the back end. You don't have to go 6, 7, something crazy, but just that one extra, I think, would buy you some of that continuity that we're talking about.
By the way, shout out to Rob Pelinka, because I was out for a week. And I come back today, and tonight Lakers Talk is on at 7 o'clock.
He was saving it for you.
The fact that Lakers Talk is on a random Thursday, because I took a couple days off, I will always be indebted to Rob Pelinka. Thank you so much for that.
All right, Laker fans, 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you like the terms? What do you think? 877-710-ESPN. Your phone call's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
The LA Kings have a new home.
Hear the excitement of Kings hockey this season.
JJ Redick is the new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, a 4-year contract, that according to ESPN sources. And JJ Redick is working on a staff to surround himself with experienced NBA coaches along the way. So that is your breaking news. They saved it for you, Slia. You were in Puerto Rico. You were in Philly. Yep. You were on an airplane. And they waited for you to have Lakers talk tonight, where I would imagine you'll talk about Taurean Prince's impending potential free agency. Is that where you start?
I didn't remember that.
I just remember.
The one nugget that I gave you last time when you're like, this is around Dan Hurley. Like, what are you talking about tonight? I'm like, Taurean Prince's
I remember
offensive.
one thing about everything and not a second thing about anything. So you got yourself a show tonight. All right, Laker fans. So what do you think of it? Let's start in PV with Ed. Ed, you're on first. Travis Slia, what's up?
Hey, guys. I do not like this hire at all. We talk about players having brands. Coaches have brands, too. What is Redick's brand? That he can, manage a podcast and be an analyst on ESPN? I mean, other than that, what is he bringing to the table? He has no noteworthy experiences. He's not been a true winner, doesn't have a championship. So what have we hired?
I think what you've hired, and I think it's a good question, Ed. I really
Fair
do.
too, because we don't know.
I think his brand is, I know NBA basketball.
Yeah.
I not only was a long time and successful player, maybe not the best player on a team or a champ or anything, but he had a long, solid NBA career. He knows how the league works. He knows the players in the league. He knows what works in the league and what doesn't. His brand is, he has been in basketball even as a player or after being a player to surround himself with other people like LeBron James, who, look, LeBron James is a basketball genius. And if LeBron James is looking at somebody and saying, that guy knows what he's talking about, then I believe he knows what he's talking about. His brand could be a million different things at this point. But I think that if we're trying to guess the lane that he's going to occupy, it's competent. It's, I know where to put the guys. I know how to manage people. I know how to connect. Job number one in the NBA, connect with your best player. I think that we're off to a great start in connecting with LeBron James for all the obvious reasons. Now it's just whether he can connect with everybody else and put together a staff and a team.
If JJ Redick didn't have a podcast with LeBron James, I wonder if the podcast almost has hurt him in this process.
Interesting.
The fact that every time we talk about JJ Redick, that caller is a perfect example. What do we know about him? That he does a podcast? I think it's because it was with LeBron James. If JJ Redick was hired tomorrow by the Cleveland Cavaliers, I think the conversation is different, but it's the fact that LeBron is a Laker, that LeBron certainly has...
That's LeBron.
That they can continue to say it, I have no... I'm not a part of any process. If LeBron James wants something, he's going to get it. But I wonder if that association has almost hurt him in a sense, because now everybody's just saying, well, you hired this guy because it's LeBron James and he does a podcast with JJ
Okay,
Redick.
Look.
There's a lot more to JJ Reddick than just that podcast
for
that's
sure
been on
there
for
is.
2 months.
And I understand people's initial gut reaction to, well, you're just with LeBron, so therefore, okay, fine. Let's just, for the sake of argument, say that that's what it is. Okay? Doesn't mean he can't do it. Doesn't mean he can, but it doesn't mean that just because LeBron maybe kicked the door open or at least said, hey, you guys should at least look over here, that doesn't make him an attractive candidate. That maybe this is exactly the right guy. And just because maybe he jumped ahead on the line a step or two or 10 doesn't mean that he's not ready to do this. It just means that he maybe had an advantage by being connected to LeBron James through the podcast. Doesn't mean it's not going to work. Doesn't mean that it will, but I think it's almost irrelevant. Not that it didn't get a first or a 10th look because of his connection with LeBron, but ultimately he's going to sink or swim based on whether he can do the job.
I'll just, and I think we're going to get caught up in, and I think the best way to describe a hire like this, when Frank Vogel became the head coach of the Lakers, we knew that Frank Vogel had good experience in the league, and I think there was some excitement about it. When Ty Lue was a part of the conversation, it didn't happen. It's like, yeah, if they can get him, great. Luke Walton, I want to go back to Luke for a quick second. There are a lot of people that felt really good about that hire.
Sure.
That the timing of it when he was coming in, what he had done previously, who was his previous coaches, who was his previous coach in college. Like, there was a lot of good ties to it. The J.J. Redick, this is really coming down to, Rob, I hope this decision works out. Because if not, and we're sitting here in a couple years, and we know that the Laker job, it's not just that there has been a lot of recycling of different coaches. Darvin Ham could be sitting there, and he's halfway through his first year, and there's already questions coming in. Do you feel like your job is on the line? Literally, that was happening with Darvin Ham. The Lakers are critiqued as much as any other team in sports, and especially when LeBron James is on that team as well. I hope that when the dust settles, that this hire is something for the present and the future, but there literally is no way of knowing how it will work out.
Let's try another one. Don in City of Industry. Don, you're on with Trav and Slee. What's up, Don?
Hey, Travis. Great show. Great talking to you.
Thanks, Don.
You know, I think, I want to give Redick the benefit of the doubt, because if it turns out he can do it. Nobody thought Pat Riley was going to be any good. That was that joke press conference where he's going to be the defensive coach and Jerry West is going to be the offensive coach. And he says, no, I'm not. Or what about Phil Jackson? Yeah, he was with the Albany Patroons. But, man, the staff he had, Tex Winter, his mentor, who taught him his system and how to execute the system. He had that, what was his name? Johnny Bach, the great defensive, was that his name? The defensive coordinator. These two white-haired, elder statesmen. And if he gets a staff around him like that, Redick could do fine. But people are just going to keep, naturally, the criticism, like you mentioned, is going to be, he's just LeBron's pull toy. He's a little puppet. But if he can do the job, who cares? That's the bottom line,
Don,
I think.
Don, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you for calling in. You know how much I hate when people try to already use J.J. Redick and say, hey, look, Pat Riley did this. He had the Showtime era Lakers, the Showtime 80s era Lakers. Hey, Phil Jackson was able to jump in. Look where he was coaching. Phil Jackson had, and I'm not saying these are not the greatest coaches or executives to ever do it. What I'm saying is he doesn't need to be Phil Jackson or Pat Riley. He needs to be a coach that finds a home that in 3-4 years we're saying, if you go look at the top 7-8 coaches in the NBA, J.J. Redick is part of that conversation. You just got to build sustainability. Nobody's saying you got to go win 5 chips or 4 chips or whatever the case is.
I hope that's what they got, and I hope that is where we're talking about this in a couple of years. That look, maybe the Lakers. I'm trying to think how to say this the best. 2 years from now, the Lakers have not won an NBA championship. But you can see that there's a plan in place. You can see that J.J. Redick is a good coach. Maybe they make a round or two of the playoffs. Maybe they don't. But you're looking at it saying, yeah, this works.
And he's not the problem.
He's not the problem. Yeah. The Nuggets are just a lot better. The Mavericks are better. The Wolves are whoever it is. But they're not losing games because that guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Players are developing.
Players are developing. Players buy in that he's developed a culture. I think that's the goal. Look, if they win titles, awesome. That takes care of itself. But it's that, what if it's not titles, but rather there's noticeable game, for lack of coaching game. The players are responding to it. And you know what? We've got a guy that we know the coaching box is checked. For instance, the Rams have had a bad year here. Does anybody think that the Rams don't have a quality coach in that position?
No brainer.
The Chargers, do they have a quality coach in that position?
Yeah.
Of course they do. The Clippers, do they